Me, but also you. The Pharaoh fast forwards his favorite foreign film, Powder Donut. Okay, what's my line?
The only line I see here on the script is get options based on your budget with the Name Your Price tool from Progressive.
Oh man, that's a tongue twister, huh? I'm sorry, I'm gonna need a few more minutes. Bulbous Walrus, the Bulbous Walrus.
The Name Your Price tool, only from Progressive.
The owl ran afoul of the comatose coxswain.
Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates. Price and coverage match limited by state law.
Pro Extra is the Home Depot's free loyalty program built for pros. Members earn perks just for shopping, like new Pro Extra dollars or tool rental perks. Get exclusive benefits every day that save time and money. And here's an extra, $20 off your next in-store purchase of $200 or more, just for signing up. Want to save? Join Pro Extra, only at the Home Depot. How doers get more done. Visit the Pro Desk in-store or at homedepot.com/Pro Extra for details.
Thank you for visiting ChristopherMedia.net.
Thank you for downloading Sporgy for free on iTunes or from ChristopherMedia.net. Please make sure to rate Sporgy 5 stars on iTunes and help to tell others about Sporgy by leaving a comment. Thank you for following Sporgy on Twitter at Sporgy Podcast and on Instagram at Sporgy_podcast. Please follow Sporgy on Facebook to like and share Sporgy. You can also email the show. The address is sporgy@ChristopherMedia.net. If you would like to donate to Sporgy, you can click on the PayPal button at ChristopherMedia.net. If you use Amazon.com, please click and bookmark the Amazon link at ChristopherMedia.net. It will not cost you any extra money, and you will help to support Sporgy. If you are looking to launch your own website, please click through the HostGator banner at ChristopherMedia.net. Christopher Media uses HostGator to host all of the shows produced by the Christopher Media Network. When you click through the HostGator banner at ChristopherMedia.net and sign up for HostGator, you're helping to support Sporgy. We know that choosing the perfect gift for a man is a difficult task, but not anymore. TheBroBasket.com is here to help. We all know men are hard to shop for, but what do guys actually like? Their favorite alcohol, that's what. It could be craft beer, wine, whiskey, scotch, or tequila. TheBroBasket.com will put it in a gift basket full of their favorite gear and goodies. You can customize your own Bro Basket or choose from a variety of different Bro Baskets, like the Ultimate Import Sampler, the Jack and Coke gift set, or the Junior Executive gift basket. Boozeless, but still cool, Bro Baskets are also available. TheBroBasket.com gives you many shipping options to choose from, including rush delivery and Saturdays. 21 and over, please. State and local laws apply. Beer, wine, and liquor are not available for shipping in all states. You can help to support Christopher Media by clicking through the BroBasket.com banner at ChristopherMedia.net. Men used to be hard to shop for. TheBroBasket.com.
Christopher Media, let's make some noise. Welcome to Sporgy, the show that gives you half-ass sports fans giving their half-ass opinions. And now, here are your hosts.
Number 46. Who wore 46? Anybody?
I'm gonna be honest, I got nothing.
Oh, come on.
46. Come on, there's gotta be. Baseball, basketball. Oh, well. Time's up. Time to call Google.
Yeah, I can't think of anybody.
That's what I'm saying. I'll be honest, can't do it.
Andy Pettit.
46.
That's what's the first. That's the name. That's the name that comes up on my first thing on the Google page. So Andy Pettit, ladies and gentlemen. All right, there we go. Holy shit! I'm Chris.
I'm Rich.
I'm the ICEman.
We decided to record a day earlier last week because of schedule issues and whoops. Whoa! What a week to do that. It's the elephant in the room. It's Aaron Hernandez. Well, who saw that coming? Anybody?
Not me.
Yeah, I know, right? I'd see him getting convicted again in jail for murder for killing someone in the lunchroom or some shit like that. But
I thought he was getting off.
I think he was going to be murder number 4. Oh, so there you go. First one. Can I say the internet redeemed itself? I like to rail on the internet the last few months, thinking like maybe it's not such a greatest idea. And then a week like last week, like was that line out of Dumb and Dumber? And you just totally redeem yourself because those memes, my friends. that was someone's. Internet.
Wow.
You get an A+ for last week. Internet. We all came together. There was no political. Nothing political. Everyone came together in there. sick sense of humor.
You know, and I have to say, I guess I'm shocked by the amount of, not the amount of memes necessarily, but the quality of them and diversity of them, basically taking the piss out of this murdering cocksucker from every angle you can imagine. But the thing that shocks me more, the thing that yeah, exactly, dude. The thing that shocks me more is fucking the reaction from just random people with, I don't see what's so funny when someone kills themselves.
Those people
Suicide is never funny. You know, and it's like, look, man, if a 14-year-old kills himself, that person has barely fucking started to experience life, probably depressed about shit that you're gonna outgrow. They probably feel like high school is the real world and it's the rest of their life, and it's not. It's just a couple more years. That's a tragedy. Some cocksucker that murders people because he gets a drink spilled on him, kills himself, that's not a tragedy.
Nope.
There's nothing to mourn here.
That is saving the taxpayers' money. That's what that is.
And, I mean, here's the bitch of it. Because of when we recorded last week and when this happened, when this story broke, everybody that's listening has now lived with this story by the time this episode's posted for almost a week and a half. So everything has been said, has been pretty much said. I mean, we'll get to the latest allegations that are breaking. I just want to say, I think hearing that in Massachusetts, if you're going through the appeals process and you kill yourself or you die for whatever reason, you know, whether it's by your own hand or natural causes or whatever, that you are not considered a convicted murderer. And because he killed himself during the appeal process of his conviction, that means the Patriots are on the hook for $15 million that was guaranteed to him, which really would mean that $15 million would go to his kid. Because he's not married, and I believe the law is if you don't have a wife and you have children, when you die, everything automatically goes to your children. So,
well, I've heard some chatter that there may be some morals clauses that it might be, sorry, you're out of luck. Patriots don't owe anybody anything.
I understand that, but I have to say that, and Chris, we touched on this. We talked about this in the last week. Like, the only reason I can see for him to kill himself is to make sure his kid gets that fucking money. And as much as a fucking stone cold sociopath as this fucking asshole was, I mean, to the point where he never broke going into prison. Like, he just walked in there like, okay. Like,
this is my new home.
Yeah. Never not once broke down. Never not once was like, oh my God, I threw everything away. Just stone cold killer. For all that, if he did kill himself and he did plot this out thinking, well, at least my daughter will get a fucking, she won't have a father, because she's not going to have a father no matter what. The only father she's going to see is going to be through fucking 4 inches of glass. And if I kill myself, at least she'll have a large hand up in the world with this $15 million that's owed to me. If he did that for that reason, that's the only redeeming thing I've ever heard about the man.
Yeah, well, it may turn out that may not have been the reason. Should we start getting into that, or?
I mean, yeah, and I guess I'm saying before we even start this, consider the source. I first heard this story break online via Advocate news story. Advocate being I'm assuming it's still a magazine. It used to be a magazine. It's probably a magazine and it's a website now for the LGBTQAEIOU, sometimes
LMNOP.
Y.
Yeah.
Depending on who you talk to today is depending on how many letters you're supposed to add to that. All my gay friends just call me gay. I don't need all that bullshit, but whatever. They're a magazine and website for, that promotes gay issues, and they are what they say they are. They're an advocate for homosexuals when it comes to rights and everything. They come out and said that he's bisexual, and this was the reason the entire murder, that he killed someone in the first place. Now, my beef with this is I'm really fucking sick of the minute someone dies in this country, all of a sudden they're gay. I mean, it's just, the percentages don't weigh out. Everybody's fucking gay according to people when they die. You know, I mean, even like Abraham Lincoln. Oh, huge queen. Just frolicking around, freeing slaves, dressed up like fucking Mammy. You know, I mean, it makes no sense. You know, John, and it's amazing how it's always like Abraham Lincoln's probably the most righteous person that this accusation's been leveled at. But it's amazing how it's always anybody who's perceived as overly masculine. When they die, they do their best to fucking like pin he was gay, or he was bi, or he would suck dick in bathroom stalls at rest stops, or so whatever the fuck on him. You know, John Wayne dies, and all of a sudden, oh, he was a cross-dresser. Really? My dad was a huge John Wayne fan. By proxy, I've probably seen almost every movie of his, including the shitty singing cowboy one. Never saw any John Wayne movie where he was cross-dressing or was plowing someone in the ass or getting plowed in the ass himself. But this is, you know, like I said, this is the world we live in. Once people die, apparently everyone's gay, everyone's bisexual.
You think anyone's got that in the vault? That Duke just getting hammered?
He's been dead, what, 40 years?
Well, he'd be a top, right?
Who knows, dude? But I mean, he's been dead 40 years. I think he died like in 77, maybe 78. In all those years, you're telling me nothing's ever leaked out about him? No one's ever corroborated these stories?
We paid the right people, or they all died. Who knows?
J. Edgar Hoover, for sure as fuck, his shit leaked out. I mean, come on now. My point is that, once again, okay, the article claims that he's bisexual. Okay, well, if you are fucking working for the Advocate and are a writer, I'm going to say the odds are better that you're not a sports fan than you are. Okay, so if a non-sports fan, not entrenched in the world of sports, knows this about Aaron Hernandez, why would he kill someone over fucking threatening to out him if it was this poorly kept of a secret?
Now, I'll throw a little gas on your fire there, Rich. Conveniently, if you read this story, the only person that knew was Odin Lloyd. That's why Odin Lloyd is no longer with us. And Rich, hopefully there will be some kind of answers for this, because I believe his ex-wife, fiance, whatever the fuck is, she asked a judge that she wants the 3 suicide notes released. He supposedly once to his prison boyfriend, once to her, and what's the other one to? The public? Why can't we get our note?
I had heard that, yeah, one was to his family, supposedly one was to, his boyfriend, and then the other one I wasn't sure of. But what were you going to say, Earl?
You were saying about, the Duke. Back in his day, okay, I could see hiding it. Whether he was or wasn't, I could see hiding it in his day. With Aaron Hernandez today, it's so widely accepted it doesn't even matter. I mean, it really doesn't. Nobody cares if anybody is gay or straight anymore. They just don't care.
Well, there's people that care, and I'm sure in the hyper masculine world of sports, especially football, that there's a lot of fucking, there's a lot of people that care. On top of this, there's something that gets glossed over by all these people who just fucking sit around and giggle and touch themselves and finger their butthole when they like to fucking throw out the gay accusations. Because they love, first of all, if this was Aaron Hernandez, the murdering garbage man, no one would have cared if he was gay or straight. Okay, this is the Advocate's way of getting a dig in at a jock after he's already offed himself, whether it's true or not. What is the point of putting that information out there and being like, oh, yeah, well, and flaunting it? There is none, all right? But there's also something that's being overlooked here. There's a real issue in the how do I put this politically correct? Urban community with the inability to accept gay, trans, and bi lifestyles.
Yeah,
all right.
That's still a thing.
I would go so far as to say even more so than the shitlord, evil, cisgendered white male community. Because if any of us were to say, I don't really like gay people, that'd be the end of us right there. You would have people online hunting us down, forwarding everything we say to our bosses, trying to get us fired, etc., etc. Yet here's a story that's basically pointing out, like, oh yeah, look, he rolled with a bunch of gangsters, did a bunch of gangster shit, and he killed himself because he didn't want his gangster buddies to know that he was bisexual. He'd rather die than be known as bisexual. So,
you're right. That sentiment is getting kind of lost in that, huh?
I mean,
should be a different conversation.
The way people choose to paint pictures when it comes to the narratives in the news is endlessly fascinating to me, because we're just completely overlooking one major aspect of this story simply because it's uncomfortable to talk about. Because believe me, if this was Tom Brady hung himself, maybe had a gay lover, bisexual lover, killed people. Okay. Believe me, the conversation of closeted men and homophobia in the white community would be the first and foremost among what we're talking about here. That narrative would have been, excuse the pun, fish fucked up our ass. All right. But no. It's not going to, it doesn't happen because, well, we have to tread carefully around these parts here. We all of a sudden can't bring up truth. Because somehow speaking the truth in this fucking country is akin...
That ship has sailed.
...is akin to face fucking an infant until it fucking gags on your cock. I mean, I don't understand it, but you can't do... I'm waiting for the day when you can actually fuck a child and it's more acceptable than telling the truth to someone.
So Milo, whatever. That guy. We all know his name.
Milo Yiannopoulos?
Yeah, that's what killed that. But you know what? I bet you give it 6 months, that guy will show up again.
He will. He'll just show up in a different capacity. He'll sneak back in. He's a guy like him. He was. See, now, if this was another case in point, if this was coming from someone like Milo, okay, and if people listening don't know who Milo is, look him up. We're not going to go into that.
You type in Milo and Google, it's the first thing that comes up. Maybe Milo Y. Start there.
He's a shit stirrer. He's the guy cackling over the pot like the evil witch stirring the stew.
He monetized being a troll.
Exactly. That's his job. Okay, the Advocate, as far as I've always known, has tried to present itself as hard and fast, legit news source. And like I said, once again, find it amazing. Anytime a man dies, especially the more masculine of a job he had or something, or more masculine he was or whatever, here comes this fucking this crowd of people who just go, he was a fag. Really? I mean, and look, the NFL is not a microcosm of the rest of the world. The NFL is its own thing. They live in their own bubble. All right. And we found out with the Michael Sam shit 3 years ago, the athletes are not as forward thinking as the rest of the fucking society would want them to be. I mean, if you doubt my word, I'm going to tell you what you do. You take your fucking simple goddamn dumb ass, you sit down at a fucking computer, you type in NBA players react to Michael Sam, and then you watch and read the quotes that these players were saying. No, I said it right. NBA players react to Michael Sam. Not even into their league. And these guys were like, I ain't having no fag on my team. 2014 saying this shit. No one took them to task. Can we guess why? Possibly because your skin's a little bit darker than a redhead with a sunburn? And maybe it's... Where does political correctness end when it comes to that type of shit? Is calling out homophobia in a black man considered racist? Because pointing out any fault in anybody who's not white is considered racist anymore.
That's true.
I mean, I'm surprised, like, there hasn't been a bigger spin in this entire story with people trying to make this a race issue with Aaron Hernandez simply because his last name is Hernandez.
Well,
I'm really shocked.
They got you on tape dragging a body. it's kind of hard.
I know, but dude, there's people out there. We've all, especially Chris, with you and I coming up on 3 years doing fucking unregimented. We've had to, even if we didn't talk about the stories, we've had to see the stories where someone is caught red-handed, gun in hand, dead person at their feet, and someone comes out and goes, "You don't understand. They come from this underprivileged." Fault. Yes. It's because of the white male patriarchy that this happened, and blah, 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 and all this bullshit. Okay.
I'm so glad you finished that, Rich, because it started to sound like you were confessing a murder with you and Chris.
Shit. Murder stay murder, man. There ain't no statutes of limitations on that. You won't catch me talking about that. But no, man. All the coverage of this story, this comes out. And like I said, I don't know how much I buy it, man. I don't know how much I buy it. I think it's opportunism at its worst. And look, I'll be the first to admit, I would not want to be gay. I don't care if it's more accepted than it's ever been before in our society. I still don't want to be gay. I don't want to put up with that bullshit. And all my friends that are gay put up with a ton of bullshit for it. And I'm like, it's insanity. But at the same time, if you take a situation and go, oh, well, how could we, we at The Advocate, we don't really cover sports, but how could we put a spin on this story? Oh, I know. He was bisexual. There we go. And then, yeah, we'll get attention for this, even though we are in no way involved in this fucking story. I mean, I have a bad habit after doing these podcasts for 3 years of connecting dots sometimes where they shouldn't be connected. But I'm just seeing way too much smoke for there just to be no fire with someone who, it seems like this story is people trying to jump on a bandwagon and push an agenda, and they know they're going to get zero to no resistance because one, he's a murderer, and two, he's dead. Who's going to argue against what they're saying?
And then you can make him more sympathetic because he was struggling with who he was. Hey man, sometimes an asshole is just an asshole. No matter your sexual orientation, just look at him. He killed somebody for some dumbass shit. He's gone now.
If we're supposed to have sympathy for him because he was conflicted about his sexual identity, then where's all the sympathy for Jeffrey Dahmer? Where's all the where's all the sympathy?
He's a white guy.
Where's all the sympathy for John Wayne Gacy?
White guy. Didn't he talk to the dog too?
Brady.
That was Berkowitz.
Oh yeah. Hey, by the way, side note. Because we kind of touched on it. Would either of you be surprised if it came out Tom Brady was gay? I would not be.
Gay?
Still, doesn't change the fact that he's the GOAT, but I know his wife's the model, so that kind of gives him a pass. And Tom just always struck he's a little too pretty for the average straight white male.
It wouldn't shock me.
He's metrosexual.
It wouldn't shock me if he's touched an erect penis that wasn't his before. Let's put it that way. It would not shock me.
Here's an awful lot about his hair, but I don't know. There's a new breed of cat that really, but he's our age. That's the thing. He's a Gen Xer. I don't know.
He's metrosexual.
We will see, man. We'll see when he dies what they say. And Rich, you talk about things you're not buying. I'll tell you one thing I'm not buying. I don't care how many police reports you put that in. I'm not buying that John 3:16 bullshit. Not. I just think I think that is football urban legend, like at its finest.
Oh, so you think that's just complete bullshit that the guards made it up and were like put it in a report?
Yeah. Or some shit that, I think that's like maybe a game of telephone or, I think that is football seeping into this somehow. I really think that is. But that's my opinion. Wasn't at the crime scene. I have no photos.
Why would he do John 3:16?
Because it's at every sporting event ever, and it started at football. It started with football.
Yeah, don't you remember
if
the
guy
guy
in the rainbow? If you're gonna kill yourself, do Psalms 23 or some shit.
I get it.
John 3:16.
You watched a football game or any sporting event in like the 90s, right? With the guy with the rainbow wig and John 3:16, like that all came at sporting events. That came from football. I think this is football seeping and urban legend coalescing here.
And what's ironic is Mr. Rainbow Wig John 3:16 is sitting in prison himself.
I know, right?
So
he's got balls. He's serving his time. Hernandez. My initial reaction when I read that, like literally, it was like I woke up. It's like 900 alerts, and for Aaron Hernandez, my first reaction was, pussy. got up and went on about my day. This wasn't Robin Williams, people. I don't understand. I don't get the people that are acting, we touched on it earlier. Oh, you should never be, it's never funny. Fuck him. All right. This isn't Robin Williams. He put himself in that position. He showed no signs of mental illness before other than being a complete fucking sociopath. Fuck this guy. This is natural selection, Darwinism, whatever label you want to put on it.
Like I said, if he did kill himself in a Hail Mary attempt to try to fucking make sure his daughter has a nest egg waiting for her or whatever, then that's about the only redeeming thing I've ever heard about this guy. This guy was just a fake piece of shit all around. Even going back to his Florida days, the stories I'd hear about, him partying and raising hell in the clubs and fighting in the fucking streets and acting all fucking thugged out and gangster and shit. And then Sunday morning would be sitting there with Uncle Urban and fucking Tebow Christ doing, Bible study. And it's like, get the fuck out of here, dude.
Yeah, just with everything we've heard about the guy, I know on the surface he wanted to appear like he did it for his daughter, but with everything that we've heard about the guy, I really think his motivation was fuck these motherfuckers. They're not going to get me. I'm getting the last fuck you in. You know what I'm saying? That's what I really think his motivation really came from, just with all the stories you've heard about him and how he's acted. That was probably his motivation more than anything, is they ain't gonna get me, fuck them,
I'm from the school of, I didn't care when he got arrested. I didn't care when he got convicted. I didn't care when he killed himself. I really didn't.
Man, I had him on my fantasy team. He was good.
Here's my thing. As a sports fan, or a half-ass sports fan, he didn't make any huge breaking thing to me. I didn't hear Aaron Hernandez tight end or anything until he got arrested.
Oh no, man, he was a rookie sensation.
For you, not for me.
No, I mean in general. No, he generally was that year. He was. His name was mentioned a lot in the national sports media his first year.
Nah, but he didn't. I mean, he's not AP.
Well, yeah.
He's not Barry Sanders.
Well, he didn't give himself a chance to get AP. He got, 2 seasons in?
Dude, he's not even Mark Chmura. Stop it. I didn't grab onto this guy, so I didn't care. The one thing that pissed me off about him killing himself is the family of the person he killed was robbed of a death. Aaron Hernandez, whether he killed himself or got killed in prison, whatever, robbed the family of the guy that he killed's family. That family needed to see that man die.
Well, they were never going to see him die from a state execution.
Yeah, Massachusetts doesn't do death penalty.
Yeah, I'm just saying, if he's going to die, they should have got to see it.
Well, I don't know what to tell you, man.
Coming from.
I mean, I guess, but even if he'd have fucking wasted away in prison, most likely, most of that family would have died off before fucking he died.
No,
if
Rich,
he lived to be the average age.
I'm saying that if he wanted to kill himself, if he was ready to die and he was going to commit suicide, then tell him to go fucking execute and let his family watch. Do it that way.
Well, that's the thing, is he didn't exhibit any signs to anybody that he was thinking about doing this. That's why I really question his motivation, man. They weren't given a chance to. Earl, trust me, I get where you're coming from. Man, if you're gonna do it, let us see it. But, I mean, he wasn't, that's how much of a sociopath this dude was.
Well, Facebook Live this shit.
I know, right?
He's in prison, dipshit. He's not in fucking day camp. What the fuck?
Yeah, and even though he was rich, he didn't go to white-collar prison. He went to I Killed Someone prison.
I mean, you understand the hell that would break loose if fucking he did do that? With every guard on that fucking, on that tier would have been fucking fired, dude.
Rich, we're talking about a guy that's supposed to be bisexual. Stick it up your butt.
I know, right?
Smuggle it in that motherfucker. Help us out. That's all I'm saying.
Good God. All right. Well, he did help us all out in general. Like I said, taxpayers in Massachusetts, they'll get they should all get a rebate for that. Just tax time just happened. Well, it'll be next year, right? Be for the 2017 filing year.
I guess to add on to what you've been saying, Chris, he did do it the day that his team went to the White House for winning the fucking Super Bowl. You know, so maybe it was. You know what? Fuck him. I could have been at the fucking White House right now, but I did this dumb shit. So fuck it. I'm just gonna kill myself. And maybe we're connecting dots that don't need to be connected now that he's gone. Oh, he did it for his daughter. He did it because he's gay. He did it because whatever the fuck. Or maybe he just did it out of just fucking pure. He had a moment of pure fucking depression, or he just felt hopeless and said, "Fuck it."
Somebody will find me before I suffocate. You're wrong.
Well, I mean,
see Gronk at the White House.
I'll stop that.
Let's be honest.
Bust in on Spicer, really?
If you're a guard and you walk up to check on Aaron Hernandez and he's piled all his shit in front of the door and he's fucking, hanging himself, would you be tempted just to go,
stop?
Let me sit here and watch. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, let me just sit here and watch until he's done. And then wait another 5 minutes, make sure he's really gone.
Yeah.
Sit there with the key ring, like, which one was it? What cell is this?
Pretend fumbling with it.
I mean, because that's another thing that I think in the sensationalism of his trial and now his suicide and now the advocate coming out saying he was bisexual, whatever the fuck. This dude had the world at his feet and threw it away over some bullshit nonsense, man.
Over that, like, you gotta respect me bullshit. I hope that shit dies with our age group, because that's really where it started.
It's whatever. I've already. If people are looking to fucking paint me in the corner as some sort of fucking Klan member, I've already given them enough fucking ammo today because God forbid I speak the truth. But here's the deal. That is white trash and ghetto mentality.
Yeah, man. I went to high school with that nonsense for fuck.
Okay. You go to a boardroom, there ain't motherfuckers ready to stab each other and shoot each other because you disrespected them, dog.
No,
actually there are.
They'll just fuck your
not a knife.
They'll just fuck your wife and destroy your career. They'll do they'll do it that way.
I got told something about a year ago from somebody who said, poor people fight with their hands, rich people fight with lawyers, and it's the fucking truth. And this disrespected me. Oh, you stepped on my sneakers. Or you spilled a drink on me. You know what, dude? If you're gonna kill someone over something like that, just let's be honest. The only thing wrong with him killing himself is that he did it before. He did it after he killed people. If he'd have done it before, one less idiot in the fucking gene.
Ooh, Rich. Come with me on this comparison. Can't we compare him to President Trump?
Uh-oh. In what way?
I'm interested in seeing where you're going with this.
President Trump said, when you're rich like they are, you can just grab women by the pussy. Aaron Hernandez said, I'm rich and famous. You don't step on my shoe, I can kill you and get away with it.
Yeah, but he was pulling that shit. The rumor mill is that this isn't his first time. This wasn't the first group of people he's killed. And it wasn't the first time.
Somebody stepped on his shit, he shot him. Trump walks up, hey, I'm Trump. Let me see your pussy. I'm good. I think yeah.
That shit's real quick. You need a handful of pussy before I go into work here.
Well, I mean, I can't say how far back his sense of entitlement goes, but I have heard stories about him in his high school and early college days basically strutting around like, I'm the shit and I can do whatever I want. So, yeah, there might be a correlation.
Well, there you go there, Rich. Yeah, that you hit on it. Entitlement. That's probably the link that ICEman's going for with the same kind of mentality. Like, this shit is mine because I think it should be. Sometimes it's pussy. Sometimes it's you stepped on my shoes. But, one less asshole. It's a button I'm I'm wrapping that up.
All right. You know what? Not even the pussy. Look what he did to Syria.
Aaron Hernandez?
No, Trump.
Syria, some chick from the hood?
Trump was like, you dropped gas where? Oh, fuck that. I'm killing everybody.
No, that's a different conversation, though, too.
It is. That was actually kind of a stupid joke.
Because I walk a line with that conversation. Because part of me says you can't speak the language of logic to people who don't speak logic. And yeah, that's unregimented.
Just saying.
Yeah.
Also here on Christopher Media. Anyways.
Yeah, Saturdays. ChristopherMedia.net, iTunes. All right. So speaking of one less asshole. Oh, sorry. But,
Wow.
So we will let you take it from here, Iceman, because some big shit kind of went down right before we started recording.
Right. I say Junior, everybody knows who I'm talking about. Because if I say Dale Earnhardt, everybody's going to be like, oh no, that motherfucker's been dead forever. But if I say Junior, everybody knows who I'm talking about. Yeah. Decided to call it quits. 17 seasons in.
That's why. Just because
he is going to finish this season. His last race is in November. Last season, he missed the last 18 races of the season due to what they're calling concussion-like symptoms.
Wait, can't drive with a concussion?
It's not advised, no. You start seeing double and shit out there on the raceway, and which one do I go around? Go around all of them. Next thing you know, you end up in the wall looking like Dale Earnhardt.
Oh. Sharpens your senses. You're getting around 2 cars instead of 1. Become even
Why are you taking
more...
such a right turn? Getting around all those cars. There's 2 cars.
What? But so that's a big deal. I was telling you before we recorded. I know enough to know that that's a big deal, even though... So,
it's huge in the fact that it's Dale Earnhardt's son, but in the grand scheme of NASCAR, meh.
Well, I guess my question is this the end of the Earnhardt bloodline?
No, because he's still going to carry Earnhardt.
And there you go.
But no, he's going nowhere, and he's going there in a hurry.
You can do Mountain Dew commercials and make that money. I mean, Dale Earnhardt's he's got, 22 kookaroos. All right? He's going to be all right. Between, I'm sure he got something when his dad died. Is he still hawking Budweiser?
That's a negative. His car, you don't watch NASCAR at all, do you?
No.
No, he drove for the U.S. Fuck. I can't even think of who he drove for.
Come on, NASCAR.
Shut up. It's the armed forces, but it's not. Oh my God. I can't think. It's the reserves, but it's not the reserves. I quit.
I see Valvoline.
Okay, so he retires. My question is...
The office is right down the street from me. I can't think of it.
My question is, did he ever win anything? I'm not talking of a couple races. I'm talking about...
I don't know. That's why in the grand scheme of things, it's not that big a deal. Because he only won, I think, something like 27 races like that. Something like that. But he only won 2 cups. So, he was like the most popular driver of the year once. And the grand scheme of his name. Right. National freaking Guard. That's who he drove for.
National Guard.
It just hit me. Yes.
It's not the cool branch with the Godsmack. I don't know. Does the Navy still do that? So what's Dale Hart? Is that it with him in NASCAR? Is he still going to own? What's he going to do?
Oh, I'm for sure, almost positive. I didn't read up on it too much, but I'm almost positive he's going to still own.
Is he just going to be the rich guy in the suit now at every race?
Pretty much. He's stepped outside the car. He doesn't want to hit a wall. Or another car for that matter. Because if it is a concussion, unlike, we talk about it in football all the time, but in NASCAR, you're getting Rebbins Racing. You get that from Days of Thunder if you watch that movie. But, you get rubbed in the back, hit in the front, side, you get put into a wall. You can get messed up quick, fast, and in a hurry out on the track.
Gotcha.
Well, it's funny that you bring up the concussion thing because I just read an article of a long-term study. I think it was over 5 or 6 years of current and former NHL players, and they were trying to. They weren't trying to. They were looking for any connection between the hits they've taken and problems later on in life, and there wasn't as much of a correlation as people tend to believe. There is a connection there, but it wasn't the huge boogeyman like, oh my God, you're going to end up with CTE if you have more than a couple concussions, blah 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 blah. It just wasn't that. So, is this a case of that's why he's retiring? And a couple of years down the road, if this study, which was an independent study, it was not like when the NFL paid for a study and then said it's amazing, these hits have nothing to do with players dying early, nothing at all, and nothing at all to do with concussions. Like, this was an independent study of the NHL, of the Players Association, of everybody. And if more studies down the line are coming out that say, yeah, there's a link, but it's not as strong of a link as we've been led to believe, would this be something that he can unretire and come back to racing? He can't be that old.
I mean, he could.
He's got to be in his 40s, but that's it, right?
It's not like that. It's moreover the fact that there is no question with Dale Earnhardt Jr. that racing and wrecking and hits in his car is leading to concussions. None. And with that, I'm sure his health has taken a turn for the worst, and he just wants to spend time with his family. So even if it's not leading to an early death, it's more the fact that he wants to spend time with his family. And like I'm telling you, bro, he's all right. All right. He's only really big because of his name. His dad raced for 27 years before he died on the track. Won over 40 races. Won them. Not raced them. Won over 40 races. Won 7 titles. Okay. Now in 17 years, Junior has only won like 20 races, like half his dad, 2 cups, and not much else. So he's not like a big deal. This would be a bigger deal if Jimmy Johnson retired, Kyle Busch retired. Those are the front runners of the NASCAR circuit as we speak. Dale Jr. retiring is a big name because of his dad. I love the guy. I love the fact that he's won Daytona. He's won it twice. But, meh. I mean...
What you're saying is if he didn't have his name, this would be just some average driver retiring?
Yeah, it would be the same thing as if I came in and said, Kenny Schrader is retiring.
Yeah. Sure.
Anybody know who Kenny Schrader is?
Maybe together we can get somewhere.
I mean, I do. I know who he is simply because I recognize the name, but I couldn't pick him out of a crowd of one.
Right.
I mean, so yeah, I get your point. It'd be if there was no Gordie Howe and when Mark Howe retired, you're like Mark Howe retired, and people would be like, who?
Correct.
You're Gordie Howe's son. That's how you're going to be known. You're Dale Earnhardt's son. That's how you're going to be known. You have the same fucking name as him, for fuck's sake. People that don't even have a passing interest in NASCAR know who the fuck Dale Earnhardt is, and by extension, his son.
Correct.
Christ, I think there's a band here in Detroit named
Dale Earnhardt
Jr.
I was playing him earlier.
So, I mean, when your name is a shitty band name, you know what I'm saying? I mean, that's got to tell you something. Well, I don't know. Yeah. He is a recognizable name in that sport, even to the non-fan, and it's probably him do. I know we've talked about this a little bit, but I don't know how I necessarily feel about this fucking announcing you're going to retire at the end of the season so you can do your fucking victory laps. I'm not sure. I'm just not sure how I feel about that. Like, to me, it started with Jeter, and then Mariano Rivera, and then David Ortiz. To where every team they went to, they get, this is your last game at Yankee Stadium, so the Yankees gave him some, Ortiz something, or this is the last time Mariano Rivera. Yeah, last time Mariano Rivera is going to pitch in, Camden Yards, so they're going to give him something. It's just like I don't know, man. Maybe I'm too old school, but it's like if you're going to retire at the end of the fucking season, have your fucking press conference, squeeze out a few fucking tears, say a couple fucking pat answers as far as your career, and then take your spot as a special advisor to the team. I mean, that's just I need a whole season for people to tell me how great I am. It just reeks of narcissism and egotism to me. I mean, I really don't. I don't know.
Hey, you brought up
whatever.
Jeter. Jeter just him and a group that Jeb Bush are involved in just bought the Marlins. That came through while we were talking. It's not a huge.
Oh, so that's legit.
Yeah.
Okay, because I had heard that he was trying to, or had interest in it.
Yeah.
Okay, so what are the odds? What are we setting the odds that the Marlins will go through yet another either name change or uniform change in the next 2 years?
Say that again.
What are the odds that the Marlins will go through another name change, aka they'll be the Florida Marlins instead of the Miami Marlins once again, or another uniform change in the next 2 years.
Who knows?
I'd say the uniform's pretty much a given because it seems like they change their uniform every 2 to 3 years, anyways.
Yeah, pinstripes. Hey, why is that Marlin? It's like a Marlin in some water. It looks like a Y, NY. What are you doing?
Can't really be called the Florida Marlins because you got Tampa Bay Lightning. I quit. Tampa Bay Rays.
Marlins is a microaggression to vegans and vegetarians. Stop pushing your fish-based agenda on us at in our baseball game.
I do find it funny that team, the Marlins, have won 2 World Series. Tampa's won none. And yet the Marlins are the black sheep of the baseball teams in Florida.
I know.
If you go to Florida, no one gives a fuck about the Marlins. I mean, but you'll see Tampa jerseys all over the place and hats all over the place. Marlins, not so much.
Marlins, they should have. I don't know. They should have thought about that when they established that team. Marlins, really? This is the best we got. A big fish.
All the other cool names were taken. The Seminoles, the Gators. What are you going to call them?
I don't know. You telling me you couldn't come up with anything better than a Marlin? Come on.
Well, they are based in Miami, so you could call them the South Beach Queens.
Oh boy. I know, right? You got the Sacramento Kings. You got no Queens. Is there even a Queens in the WNBA?
They're all Queens. Don't you know?
That's true. Oh, but anyway.
Hey, wait. Are you guys trying to assume gender? Don't assume somebody's gender now.
I know, right? Have you asked the WNBA its gender? All right. Why you just assume? All right. Anyway.
Just because I eat pussy and I'm attracted to women, doesn't mean I identify as a lesbian. Fair enough. Just because I peep at you, through the window at you eating your girlfriend's pussy doesn't mean I'm a stalker. So it's okay. It's all good.
Yeah, man. It's all in the eye of the beholder.
Right. So all the way back, yeah. Junior's gone.
Yeah. So, you know who else is gone? Chicago, Montreal. Jesus Christ. So much for my hockey bracket. Chicago, 3 goals. I was watching, they had the NHL channel on at the bar I was eating dinner at on Sunday night. 3 goals in the entire series. Wow. I mean, you deserve to lose, right?
Oh yeah, big time.
Yeah.
I watched most of the Blackhawks game. I couldn't figure it out. I was like, anybody going to hit him? Oh, okay, that's a no. Thanks.
Yeah, were we recording? We were talking about Chicago finally got off the schneid with the scoring. The last show we recorded. Whoops. Hear that? That's a sound. That was the sound of my bracket. That was the smoldering remains. I had Chicago, Montreal in the finals.
I will say this: Stan Bowman lived up to his last name because on clean-out day he was not happy whatsoever with his team, and there was no silver lining in his speech. I mean, his take on it was, this is completely unacceptable. There is no excuse for this. I mean, I was waiting for him to have an assistant hand him a fucking axe and put a fucking black hood over his head and him just to start marching players in. I mean, dude is definitely Scotty Bowman's son. Has the same attitude. Like, there is no reason for this. There's no excuse for this. Heads will roll if this happens again, and there's going to be a few heads rolling. I guarantee you by this time next season, by the start of next season, there's gonna be hell to pay in Chicago for some people. That is because this is like, I'm not saying it's up there with the New York choking against Boston when they were up 3-0, but I mean, this is a choke job from hell. I mean, this is choking right out of the gate, man. This isn't getting up 3-0 and then giving up, 4 wins in a row. This is just, they couldn't even win a fucking game, dude. I mean,
no, it looked like they took off after the regular season. It really did.
I mean, dude, oh God. And here's what really annoys me. Like, I guess I'm happy for fans in Nashville, even though I've never liked their franchise. But every Nashville fan I see online or I see an interview with is like, oh, yeah, all you experts said to, yeah. And it's like, look, assholes, you're homers. They could have been playing the 2002 fucking Red Wings, and you'd have still picked Nashville to sweep them. All right? You always pick Nashville. You don't get credit for constantly picking the same fucking team. It doesn't work that way. Fat chicks with tits, no credit. Skinny guys with abs, no credit. Okay? Homers always picking their team, and their team wins, and they want to act like they have some knowledge, no credit. All right.
Hey, wait! I always pick the Lions.
I was to say,
Stop
I
it.
heard we know someone like that.
No credit. Sorry.
No credit, Iceman. None. You get none.
And here's the thing: I've had conversations with you on and off the air. You know when the Lions are going to get their ass whooped. You'll admit that. These are fucking different types of people. These are people that probably don't even fucking pay attention during the regular season. And now all of a sudden they're talking shit because their fucking little team in Nashville stomped on a Chicago team who phoned it in. And I mean, yes, they had to win those games. But could Chicago have played any worse? How many goals did they score total in that fucking series? Three goals. Averaging less than a goal a game.
Versus 13.
It's like they handed the series to them. Come on, man.
Yeah.
I mean, and I admit, I did not see this one coming. There was a couple picks. There was a couple picks in when we did the bracket that I made the picks based on who I thought on paper was going to win. But case in point, the Rangers Montreal series. I said flat out, I'm like, I think Montreal's going to win. However, and you can, I guess people, if they want to fucking paint me in a corner and try to make me out to be an asshole, can say I'm trying to have my cake and eat it too. But I did say this. I said, Lundqvist can steal you a series, and this looks like the series he could steal. And what did he do? Yeah. Game 4, he came back and fucking, swung momentum completely in New York's favor. And then fucking Game 6 basically stood on his head and won them that fucking series.
Yeah.
Well, for our good listeners, the Iceman's bracket is still good.
Yeah. It's going to be super great for me and Rich to hear about that.
Now, I will say the one that I guess if I'm pulling for any team to go deep into the playoffs that I have no connection to whatsoever, I pretty much, I think I said this when we were making the picks. I did pick San Jose over Edmonton, but I said, Edmonton's a young team, and I kind of like them because they're so young. I think they're getting fucking underestimated by a lot of people. And here they are, lo and behold, in the second round. Now they're playing a Ducks team.
I was going to say, they're not going to make it past Anaheim, bro.
They're playing a Ducks team that is not San Jose. For all of San Jose's promise, San Jose has never won a cup. Ducks have. I mean, granted, it was 11, years ago, but still. I mean, but hey,
how does LA have two hockey teams? That still mystifies me.
Disney.
They don't even care. They have one. And they got
honestly, Disney. That's it.
That's the whole reason. They couldn't buy the Kings and shut them down.
That's the whole reason they made those Mighty Ducks movies, was so they could fucking launch their hockey team and get some fucking, some hoopla up around.
So that's how they got ESPN? It's the Mighty Ducks' fault? It's that goddamn movie's fault? That's why Disney owns ESPN? Got some sports cred?
I guess. I know it's also ruined a lot of casual people, or casual and non-hockey fans, because they think the Flying V is a fucking actual, strategy in ice hockey. So,
hey, let me ask you this, Rich. Does St. Louis have a good shot at getting to the conference final now? They're going to play Nashville, so I mean, both of them are real hot right now.
Nashville's got what I was talking about, at least, and I couldn't pick what team was going to end up with this, but Nashville seems to have the hot goalie this playoffs. Nashville has the Jaguar this playoffs. They got the goalie who's playing out of his mind. And
I like Rene as best as everybody else. That being said, I don't know. St. Louis seems very, very eager.
Well, I mean, they 4-1. They handled Minnesota. I mean, Minnesota has spent money, has gotten from, Zach Parise, Suter. I mean, they've landed some big name free agents in the last couple of years. They're trying to be as legitimate of a team as they can. I think St. Louis kind of skates on everybody's radar because, one, they're St. Louis, and two, they've been in the league for 40 years and they've never won shit. So, but I really think it's bad luck that they have to go up against Nashville because Nashville's got the hot goaltender right now.
Well, they had the hot goaltender for a series, but he's had a long time to sit.
I mean, dude, there's been every year in the playoffs, there's always a goalie who gets a team way above their pay grade as far as how deep into the playoffs they should be versus how deep into it they are. And I mean, dude, to shut down Chicago like they did, that's just dude, that's unheard of. No expert, even the experts the people who are paid to watch hockey 24/7, it's their life, they live it, breathe it, shit it, eat it, all of that. No, even the people that picked Nashville, no one picked Nashville to sweep the Blackhawks. No one did.
That's the Lions taking out the Patriots in the playoffs. I mean, I know
that could happen.
Well, that'd have to happen in the Super Bowl, but you know what I mean. Like, to me, that's someone who snuck into the playoffs, taking out the number 1 seed, man. You know what I'm saying?
Dude, we're so gangster. The Lions will switch conferences just to do that.
With their gay high school fucking football uniforms now.
Come on now. They are awesome.
Yeah. If you were to take the Lions' new uniforms and Tampa Bay's new uniforms and put them in a room with the queer eyes for the straight guy people, they would puke all over both those uniforms. That's all I'm saying.
My mouth.
You fairy.
Yeah. Dude, I'm not gay or nothing, but you got a sweet ass in that uniform. Yeah.
As long as you say good game, it's okay.
Yeah. But, I mean,
if my penis is inside a woman, it's not gay.
It's only gay if I like it.
Dude, not even. You're only gay if you catch. If you're pitching, you're cool.
In prison, being on top ain't gay.
I just want to put that out there in case anything breaks about me. So,
jeez.
Well, I mean, okay, so you got Anaheim and Edmonton, and that's definitely going to be a series I'm going to watch.
Really?
I'm definitely going to pay attention to Nashville because I want to see if they do have the hot goaltender for the fucking playoffs or if it was just a one series wonder.
Dude, that series right there is going to be a hell of a series because I'm telling you, I watched St. Louis. They are eager. They are fiending for something better. And you're right. Rene on Nashville, forget about it. So that series is going to be the shit out of the West.
Now, my beef with how they restructured how they do the playoffs is that we have a Capitals-Penguins matchup in round 2. And I kind of understand why they did this, why they restructured the playoffs like they did, because they want every round to be as exciting as possible. So the first round, they try to set it up for upsets. The second round, they try to set it up so they have rivals going against each other. And the third round is the best 2 teams from the West and Eastern Conference, obviously, playing to go to the Cup Finals. I understand that. But to me, Capitals-Penguins, second round, that's just too early. I mean, that's just how I feel. I mean, I'm gonna watch the fuck out of that series. And I really hope that everyone on the Capitals, that someone pulls everybody who's a skater aside on the Capitals and says, remember Bounty Gate? Yeah, we're going to have Crybaby Gate. Get his ass. But that's just me. Because fuck Crosby. But And then I hate to say this because I out of the East, I mean, if I'm looking at my underdog, I kind of like the Rangers. I mean, Lundqvist, he's an older goalie. He's a veteran. He's been to the wars and back, and he hasn't won anything. And I think because of that, he kind of gets overlooked quite a lot. I mean, I know that the gold standard is championships. That's what's going to matter to these guys when they retire and they look back on their career. But I think we can all agree you can still have an amazing career and never win a championship. But there's always going to be something missing there.
Yeah.
I mean, Dan, exactly.
Well, even in hockey, Grant Fuhr?
No, he won. He was on Edmonton, dude.
Oh yeah,
more like Curtis Joseph,
Felix the Cat.
Didn't we try to get him one and he fucked it up? Or didn't Dominic Hasek come out of retirement or something and fuck that all up for Cujo?
Yeah, we signed him in the off season before the 2002-2003 season, and then that was the year that they were, I believe, swept out by Anaheim in the first round.
After we bought our title for 2002. Whatever. I know we did. We bought our title. How awesome was that team? I mean, think about
which one?
2002. Like the people that were on that team, like the people that skated together. That was fucking badass when you look back on it like 15 years later. Like that shit will never happen again. At least in the NHL.
Yeah, but still wasn't 97 though.
Something that a lot of people, I think, write off, and they shouldn't, is they go, oh, well, that cup was bought. Really? If you look at the core of that team was built through fucking the draft and pretty shrewd trades. I mean, who was the free agents that came in? Hasek, Hall, and Robitaille. That's it.
Still, man, those are hell of three free agents to come in.
You got to think. You already had Osgood. I mean, Osgood wasn't on the team.
Vernon.
No, Vernon wasn't on the team.
He was gone by then. Yeah.
But what I'm getting at is you already had Lindstrom, Shanahan,
ICEman.
Yep.
Steve Yzerman.
I mean, you had Hall of Famers that were not bought by the Red Wings. They had been there already and established themselves. I mean, it was Datsuk's rookie year, I mean, Datsuk was like, I think he was picked like in the third or fourth round. Think about that. Pavel Datsuk fell to the third or fourth round to the Red Wings. Now, is it the Red Wings' fault that other teams didn't see the potential in him and they didn't scout him properly? Or, I mean, at what point do they get credit besides, they opened up the fucking pocketbooks and paid for everything? Because if you really want to go that route, you had the Maple Leafs doing the same thing. You had Avalanche doing the same thing. The Devils doing the same thing. There's plenty of teams who are willing to fucking pay the high price who never won, who didn't win as much or didn't win, period. I mean, so there has to be some credit there. On top of that, they were down 0-2 to Vancouver and came back and won that series on their way to the Cup.
Mm-hmm. I do remember that. That was pretty badass.
People just think it was like, they just fucking swept every team to the fucking finals. No. And they lost that first game in the finals to Carolina. I mean, I remember people panicking when they lost that first game because it was supposed to be, we've got this far, we're just going to sweep the Hurricanes off the fucking face of the earth. Hurricanes come in, won game one, and there was a lot of fucking fans chewing their nails at that point. So, but yeah, I mean, out of
and I remember we spanked Colorado, especially that series. It went 6 games, right? But wasn't there a game where didn't we go in their house and shut them out? I recall watching that and feeling particularly juiced.
God, dude, there were so many fucking games in those playoff series between Colorado and Detroit at that period that I kind of get them mixed up. I want to say it was 97 where they blanked them 7-0, and in the next game, Colorado fucking shut us out to the tune of 7 goals that they scored. I mean, so it was just, those were flat out heavyweight fights, dude, where no one was playing any defense and people were just fucking swinging for the fences to each other's heads. I mean, if younger hockey fans could go back and watch those series, I think they would have an appreciation,
dude,
and they wouldn't roll their
ever.
Yeah, they wouldn't roll their eyes as much as they do when they hear, back in the day. No, really, go back and watch those series. Case in point, a page I follow on Facebook, a hockey page I follow, just posted. I want to say it was from that year in the playoffs. It was like, all the big hits and best plays from the 97 playoffs because 20-year anniversary. And dude, all the comments after it, you could tell easily who was around to watch that and who wasn't, because all the comments from the people who were around to see it when it happened was, oh, half those hits you'd be suspended for these days. And then the comments from, the younger people were, oh, look at all the clutching and grabbing and interference and they're not calling it and blah, 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 blah. And I'm just like, yeah, it's amazing. And they still scored more than they score these days.
Yep.
Dude, seriously, if they'd have called everything in 97 that they called today, the entire fucking teams, both teams, in the penalty box, we'd have a shootout with goalies.
Oh, definitely, dude. Definitely. I mean, that's been the one thing that maybe I'm just not seeing it. Maybe when I'm flipping between games, I happen to miss these calls, but I'm seeing people claiming that, oh yeah, they're calling or they're not calling anything in these playoffs. Really? I mean, when we went over this last week, I believe it was last week, but 2 5-on-3s in the same game. Dude, no. This is playoff hockey. 5-on-3s should be like they should be a unicorn type situation. That should be like she's a 10 and she's not crazy situation. I mean, it really is what it should be. It shouldn't be, well, it's a given we're going to have a 5-on-3 this game. So I'm not buying that they swallowed their whistles for the playoffs. I'm not buying that. But then again, a lot of these people are younger people who don't remember 20, 30 years ago.
No.
When they really swallowed their whistles. When you could literally watch them draw blood on each other from high sticking and no one got called for it.
You got to think, too, a lot of these younger fans, too, their first taste of hockey was post-lockout hockey. Boy, sorry about your luck. Like, that's your first, whoops, my bad. Sorry about when you were born. You can watch, the internet's around now. You can watch good hockey.
Yeah, I mean, if you have a 20-year-old right now, they were what?
They were born
7?
in 1997, yeah.
They were 7 when the lockout happened? So if you have a 20-year-old hockey fan, I'm guessing any memories he has pre-lockout are pretty fucking fuzzy.
Yeah.
I mean, I granted, I remember stuff that happened before I was 7, but not as vividly as when I was 17.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I kind of understand it. But then again, dude, whatever. It is what it is. I don't want to sit here. We opine about the fucking good old days way too much as it is. But
yeah. We got into that mode way too quick, in my opinion. I think it's. We'll quote Homer Simpson, and it's society's fault because.
But I mean, I can honestly say this kind of sucks because, like I said, the team out of the East that's like the underdog that I want to see go far is the Rangers. Yet Rangers in Ottawa is the series that holds my interest the least out of all the 4 that are left.
I was pulling for Boston, even though I didn't pick them, because they came out strong. But Senators wrapped that up pretty quick.
I will say this: during the Maple Leafs, when they were cleaning out their lockers and shit for the season, they pulled Babcock aside and they asked him about Austin Matthews and how he played. And Babcock, this is why so many players hated playing for Babcock. Austin Matthews, 40 goals, I believe 29 assists on the year, his rookie season. And Babcock's talking about, well, he's going to have to get better.
See, I didn't hear what he said. I was kind of guessing, but I was thinking if I was Babcock, I'd be like, well, we're here cleaning out our lockers today. So what do you think? What do you think my answer should be? I could see him saying something like that.
Yeah, his exact quote is, he needs to get better and he knows it. So, I mean, right there, when we talk about a coach who is not a player's coach, if you look that up in the dictionary, there should be a picture of Mike Babcock right there.
No, but he's that old school type of attitude, like God, and trust me, I struggle with it at work because I'm kind of that way and it's a new age and I kind of not need to be that way. if I expect to go anywhere in our new current climate. But anyway, it's I don't give a fuck if you like me. You're gonna respect me. Like, I know what I'm doing. Like, let's get this shit popping, and you're gonna like the end result. You may not like me while it's happening, but you're gonna like what comes out on the other side. And here we go again. In our new, let's get the age of the players nowadays. A 30-year-old was born in what? 1987. We know what age group that puts him in. So, two, you got a lot of people that aren't being used to, because another thing we always get into too, couple that with having your balls rubbed since you're 12. Wait, what do you mean I got some work to do? I've been told I'm awesome for the last 15 years. So, I don't know. Yeah, he could be kind of the old guard of like, maybe you can't coach that way anymore, Mike. I don't know.
Well, I mean, they're out of it, and Babcock, he's not going anywhere for a while. I mean, they got exactly the man they wanted in Toronto. And even though, I mean, this is how Toronto is hungry when it comes to a cup. Even though they got bounced in the first round, Toronto fans are hopeful for the future.
They played extra hockey. Toronto doesn't play extra hockey too often.
I mean, they have not been in a cup final in 40 years. I mean, and they are a charter member of the NHL.
Yes.
You can make the argument that the two teams that make the NHL the league it is the Canadiens and the Maple Leafs, if you look at their history. And in recent history, they're just persona non grata. I mean, they're just an afterthought. I mean, 40 years. Think of all the players that have came and gone that played for that organization. I mean, so I figured that their fans would be like a little salty. Not as much as I thought. Which, I mean, really,
they're like getting late after 35, man. They're just happy to be there.
Dude, it really does kind of open my eyes to the fact of how spoiled we've been with hockey here in Detroit in the last, 25, 30 years. Because, the playoff streak was 25 years. But you go back 30 years. You go back to 87. The 87-88 season, I mean, you can make an argument that the only reason the Wings didn't go to the Cup Finals is because they ran into that fucking Edmonton team that made their 2002 team look like it didn't have any Hall of Famers on it. Yeah. I mean, they had Yari Curry, Mark Messier, Wayne Gretzky, Grant Fuhr, Marty McSorley, Jeff Bukaboom. I mean, I you just keep going and just like, holy shit, no wonder they didn't fucking win that series. But, it looks to be an interesting second round. I mean, I know ICEman's going to be watching the Blues pretty carefully. Like I said, I'm definitely interested to see what the Oilers do. If the Oilers fucking take out Anaheim, we've already said our picks, so I'm not reneging on my pick. But I'm just saying, if the Oilers take out Anaheim, I wouldn't be surprised to see Oilers in the Cup Finals.
Wow,
because
that's your Cinderella. That's your Cinderella story coming out of nowhere.
Dude, they have to have confidence after taking out San Jose. They have to.
It's true.
Not cocky. They have to have confidence. And I mean, dude, just watching game one, how they came out and were just throwing the body around and like, fuck this, we don't give a shit if it's 2017. We're going to play like it's 1917. Mm-hmm. I mean, they were out there just fucking rough, rugged, and raw with it. And I was like, God damn, that's a team who wants it, and they're young. If they can keep up that pace, they could be the team that ruins a lot of people's fucking spring in Anaheim. But I mean, I did pick Anaheim over San Jose, so obviously by extension, on paper they should definitely beat the Oilers. But on paper, we should be looking at Chicago, St. Louis, on paper we should be looking at Chicago, Minnesota in the second round.
Hey man, there's a stat that they don't count that can't be measured. And it's called hungry. Maybe Edmonton's got that going for them.
Well, in today's age of advanced metrics and everything has a stat, and people saying mathematically you can prove and disprove a player's worth based on any stat anytime. I do agree with you. The one thing that there's no way to measure it is just heart and how bad someone wants it. There's no fucking metric to measure that. And that's what all these fucking advanced stat people don't get. And they scoff when people say something like the eyeball test. Well, that's just lazy. You're saying that because you're too lazy to look up stats. We have a local news guy or a local sports guy. That's his favorite thing when someone says the eyeball test. He yells at them for being lazy because they don't want to fucking crunch numbers and do this, do the statistics. To some extent, I guess you could fucking paint it that way.
But there's something to be said for the eyeball test.
Exactly. What do you call a guy who goes out there and plays on a broken fucking foot? What's the metric?
Stupid.
What's the metric for that? What's the metric for that?
Stupid?
Yeah, IQ test. But no, I get what you're saying, Rich.
Do you know how many times in hockey a player's taking a puck to the foot? I mean, nowadays they have actual protectors on their skates to keep this from happening. But their foot will be broke in their skate, but they know if they take that skate off, they're never going to get it back on. So they just keep it on and go out there and finish their fucking game.
Dude, Kane isn't old, is he?
He's oldish.
Okay, you got to remember, they have Patrick Kane, they have Taves, they have Hossa. These are not cheap players. I mean, these are players that take up a good chunk of their salary. I want to say, don't quote me on this, but I want to say the maximum amount that a player can earn under the salary cap this season is around $15 million. And I think the salary cap's somewhere in the high 50s or low 60s. So if they're making anywhere near max money, those three players, and dude, they're goalies? Come on, dude. Come on. They're getting paid. I mean, look what Howard makes, and he's a backup. I mean, so...
That's what Jimmy Howard is now? He's in Chicago?
No. What I'm saying is look at what he makes here in Detroit.
Gotcha.
And he's a backup fucking goaltender. I mean, I don't think any team except for maybe the Vegas team would take him as a starter. And even if they took him, I think they'd make him play for his position as a starter. He'd have to earn it. Basically what I'm getting at is he is not going to go to any team that I can see and just be flat out given our de facto starter without even playing a shift. I don't see it. And he's making money hand over fist. I mean, this is the problem with the salary cap and max salaries, is that you end up with players who, kind of like in the NFL, what's going on with Stafford right now? Do they pay Stafford max money? Do they pay him like he's an elite quarterback? He hasn't done anything that an elite quarterback has done.
He's even come out and said no hometown discount, which, I mean, that kind of tells you where his head's at, right? Like, all right, we're getting long in the tooth. I got twin girls now.
Yeah, my arm candy isn't cheap.
Mm-hmm. Twins is fun. I believe he actually said that on social media. Twins is fun.
That's his Georgia.
And nobody disagreed.
Well, he didn't get drafted to write, or he's not using the English language in his job that much.
Well, he's from Texas and he went to college in Georgia. I think we can overlook a few regional, slip-ups in his dialect. That's proper. The Queen's English isn't spoken in certain parts of Texas. That's all I'm going to say. Double negative is a way of life in certain parts of Texas.
Mm-hmm.
So that's what I'm getting at. Like, so Chicago's kind of got their back up against the wall, but I mean, still, it's just I don't see how. I don't think there's any team. Chicago is the closest team post lockout, and it seems like forever since the lockout, the mid '90s lockout, or the mid 2000s lockout is what I'm talking about, not the '90s or the mini one we had there. But it seems like it's been a long time, but it really hasn't. And I don't think there's a team that has mastered being constantly competitive in the salary cap era. The team that's closest to it is Chicago. And Chicago are now starting to show cracks in their armor after 7 years of being perennial contenders. So that's not, you can't, I mean, how long did it take for teams after the salary cap and all that and pay restrictions in the NFL? How long did it take for teams to evolve to the point where we ended up with the Patriots that we've had for the last, 16 years?
I know, right?
I mean, they found the winning formula. Whatever the secret ingredient is, they found it. I'd say Chicago is the closest out of the NHL to find it. But even then, they're close, but no cigar. They haven't found that secret ingredient to be just constantly contenders in the league that the way the league is set up. I mean, I guess you can make the argument Pittsburgh maybe.
Yeah.
I mean, how many cups has Pittsburgh won since Crosby
football?
Oh, well, actually both work. I mean, Pittsburgh is
title town.
Yeah. If I had to compare Chicago to an NFL team, I would say they're more like the Steelers than they are the Patriots. Patriots stand alone in any sport, in any as their own franchise. I don't know if we'll, as we move on, and we start to see more and more rules and changes, and they're trying to force more and more parity in all the leagues. I don't know if we're ever going to see another fucking team ever again like this run we've seen with the Patriots. I mean, this has got to be his. For all the bitching we do about sports these days, we're kind of, at least when it comes to watching that team, we're in the right place at the right time. Because in 100 years, they're going to talk about this team and the run they had in with nothing but reverence for them.
Yeah. It's just a culture too. That maybe, I don't know, maybe it ends with Belichick. Maybe he's grooming his replacement as we speak. I don't know. It's something that's rare. I think that, like you said, in all four sports, just a culture of just winning and discipline, and it just starts at the top. I mean, I'm sure there's businesses that sit there and model themselves after the shit like the Patriots have done.
Oh, definitely. And if you don't think there are businesses and corporations that would pay real good money to have someone like Theo Epstein or Bill Belichick, hey, when Tom Brady retires, he's never going to hurt for money because all he has to do is go on the lecture circuit. Dude, motivational speaker.
Theo Epstein is the man. I mean, the guy is not even 45. He has broken the curse of the goat and the Bambino. Like, he was that guy that orchestrated both of those. He's not even 45. He's like, 42, 43 years old?
And I have to say, I unfortunately have to say...
Makes me feel bad.
I know, right?
But I have to say, and it's unfortunate, he's better than Belichick because Bill couldn't do that at Cleveland, but he did it at the Patriots.
Oh, there's definitely an element of a perfect storm in New England that Belichick stepped into. I mean, there's dumb luck.
You know where he bought that shirt?
It damn sure wasn't the men's department. But no, I mean, there is a lot of elements of just dumb, stupid luck that got the Patriots to where they are. If Bledsoe doesn't go down,
I know, right?
We don't know Brady the way that we know Brady. History's completely changed if Bledsoe isn't out. At maybe some point, Brady would have, been his replacement. But who's to say that the fact that Brady basically took that job from Bledsoe gave him the confidence to become the quarterback he's become?
I think Tom invites Drew over every year for a barbecue. Hey, how's it going?
I think Bledsoe probably has a fucking voodoo doll that he sticks pins in. That looks like Tom Brady.
Yeah. How's that? Hey, how's it going being the GOAT? Huh? You like that, huh? You're welcome, Tom.
But I mean, once again, we're talking, getting back to the Penguins and their place in the NHL. They've only won 2 cups post-lockout, 2009, 2016.
Who has the most cups post-lockout?
Blackhawks.
There you go.
They got 3.
You say they didn't. Apparently they figured it out.
But once again, now, granted, maybe you guys aren't as, I don't think I'm speaking out of turn when I say you guys aren't as involved as hockey fans as I am.
Correct.
But, even where you guys sit, who do you hear more about, Chicago Blackhawks or Pittsburgh Penguins?
Lately, kind of 50-50.
Yeah, pretty much 50-50.
Okay, 3 years ago.
Hawks. But, they were in the middle of their run 3 years ago, right?
I guess it's an unfair question. The real question should be, who do you hear more about, Chicago Blackhawks or Sidney Crosby?
Sidney Crosby.
There you go. I think the Penguins have 2 cups. Yet, look, for all the shit I talk about Crosby, he is a great player. He could be one of the greatest to ever fucking play if he didn't have a bitch streak a mile wide running right down the center of him. And part of me part of the reason I hate on him so much is because I look at him and I go, Jesus Christ, dude, if you would just man the fuck up, do you understand how much respect you would get from people who don't want to respect you?
I think where you're going, Rich, is like with Crosby, like there's going to be no little 30-second kicker stories on Patrick Kane, all right? It's going to always be about the poster boy. Hey, look what he did tonight. That kind of shit.
Exactly. And I mean, you have shit, that Chicago hasn't been scandal free during this run they've had. They've had some players have some incidences with some cab drivers and shit. And there was, I think it was, hold on, I'm going to look this up because I want to make damn sure I get this right because I don't want to throw out an accusation that isn't true here. So give me one sec.
Erroneous!
Yeah, it was Patrick Kane that he got busted for assaulting the cab driver and pled
Take me home,
guilty.
Bitch.
Pled guilty to non-criminal disorderly conduct charges. And I see now this is me having too much fun in my 20s. I cannot fucking believe I can't remember who on the Chicago Blackhawks this happened to, but there was a rape beef on that team.
Rape beef?
Yeah, like one of the players got caught up in a bunch of rape accusations. I mean, so they have.
So I type in Chicago Blackhawks rape. Let's see what the internet gives me.
Yeah, it was Kane. It was Kane. I knew it wasn't Taves. I knew it wasn't Hossa. So I was like, by process of elimination.
Yeah, Patrick Kane, first name that comes up. Won't face rape charges. So I guess that's positive.
I mean, even with all that, they're overshadowed by Sidney Crosby. 3 cups to their 2. They're in Chicago, which is definitely a bigger media fucking town than Pittsburgh. And
hey, a nod to his PR people that we had to look up who it was. They kept that shit's quiet.
Well, I mean, it was pretty big news in the hockey world when it was happening, but this also happened 2 years ago, and we're in the. If I didn't piss people off with some of the shit I said earlier, I'm about to piss them off now. We're also in the middle of this renaissance, I guess, if you want to call it that. I don't think it's a proper word, but I can't think of another one. That all of a sudden, any type of like flirting that a woman doesn't want can be spun into sexual assault. And I hate to say it, but with that comes me going, okay, I want to know the fucking facts of the case before I fucking make a decision here.
Oh, but Patrick Kane, we are now in a post-Cosby world. So just a reminder, you get to about 37,
It's a quick little side note to that, though, to what you were saying, Rich, and it's totally off topic, but I was reading Serena Williams in tennis had to respond to a racist comment from one of the players at a match, saying, and he made the comment about her baby. He said, and I quote, "Let's see what color it has. Chocolate racist. With milk," and they're saying that's a racist comment.
Was she got a white husband?
Yeah,
that's just the comment he made.
Racist?
Yeah, and they're saying that's racist.
I don't know if it's racist. It's an ignorant comment.
Yes, it comes off more ignorant than anything else.
Agreed. I don't think it's racist at all.
I mean, look, here's the problem: is that
oh yeah, she landed herself a white dude. Oh, good for this guy. Good for this guy, man. Let me show you a
one
picture
for the team.
No, when you see a picture of this guy, you're gonna be like, "Good for that motherfucker." Because you,
what's he look like? Napoleon Dynamite or some shit?
Not so much Napoleon Dynamite, but
Pedro.
No, just when I send you the picture, you'll understand.
Okay, well, I'm holding my breath, waiting.
Well, this guy also that made the comment about Serena was suspended. You're going to like this, for asking a British tennis player, Anna Kovathong or whatever the fuck her name is, for her hotel room number during a pre-match dinner.
Well, so this guy's just an idiot.
Yeah, he also suffered a meltdown during a Fed Cup match and shouted profanities at the chair umpire.
Here you go, guys. Get that picture?
Oh, yeah, he's retarded.
Look at that guy. He said, fuck yeah, I'm named Serena Williams.
He looks like he just won the lottery. He looks like he just won the lottery in that picture.
I know, right? He's got a beard.
Got that big-ass cheese-eating grin. He's like, hey.
No. Dude, that face right there says, yep, Serena Williams' pussy was
dude, could she have picked a whiter-looking dude, by the way?
Hold on. Reddit co-founder. It makes sense now.
Oh, there you go.
There it is.
His dick's covered in $200 bills.
Exactly, yeah.
He's white, but his dick is green. We got it now.
She ain't exactly poor.
No, but dude, okay, outside of Roseanne Barr, how many women you know have married down?
I know, right?
It just doesn't happen. Okay, and if women are hearing this and they got a problem with it, guess what? Take it up at the next vagina meeting, because that's what y'all do. It's a fact. If you throw a word around enough, and you try to apply it to everything, it starts to lose its true meaning. And to me, the true meaning of the word racist means that a person of one race thinks they are superior through whether it be genetically or culturally or whatever to another race, right? Him asking if the baby's going to come out milk chocolate or chocolate with milk in it or whatever the fuck he said, all right? That's just ignorant. That is in no way saying that one race is better than the other. So I don't...
Right.
We
tend to seen as a racist comment because he's talking about chocolate and milk and black and white and...
Okay, and all right, and here's the other thing. All I ask for is consistency and honesty out of people around me. I don't ask it from the world because the world's incapable of it. Just from people around me. And if they can't more often than not be consistent and be honest, then they're not around me for very long. All right? And here's the honest truth about the situation. If a black woman or man had said this about her child, no one would even blink an eye. It'd be a non-story. It wouldn't even be reported on. I take it back. Maybe somewhere someone would go, "Oh, this is a self-hating black person," somewhere down the line. But it wouldn't be that big of a deal. To me, okay, you're a dumbass. You said some dumb shit. Right? On top of that, he's like, "Let me get your room number, baby." Really? Okay, calm down, dude. He just sounds like a fucking idiot.
I can't agree more. I really can't. No, you're not going to get any consistency out of that. That's just like black people can write books called, black privilege. But if a white person did it, we would be racist. He's standing up for the community and his race, and he's, trying to portray that, black people are proud and
shit, man. You
black privilege. Is that about having a big dick?
I was gonna say, if a white person wrote a book called White Privilege, as long as it was talking shit about white people, that'd be a bestseller right there.
There's a show coming out called Dear White People on Netflix.
It was a movie.
That should be interesting.
Yeah, it was a movie.
Well, I'm just saying, you have black fraternities. You can't have all white fraternities. You have black entertainment television. You can't have white entertainment television. You're going to have a double standard, be it in real life or in sports and everywhere. You're just going to have it. And people are so scared to go, "Oh, shut the fuck up," that it's never going to change.
Is it white entertainment television, the History Channel?
No, that's the Hitler Channel.
No, white entertainment television is CMT.
There you go.
Country Music Television. No, but because if you're the person that goes, "Oh, shut the fuck up," you're the racist, and they'll do everything. They'll call Jesse Jackson and the Reverend Al Sharpton, and you'll be picketed. And
the problem is that for people like me, I'm assuming people like you guys also, we tend to find humor in the darker corners of life, laugh at the shit that maybe would make other people uncomfortable, go places that most people would avoid. As the late great Charlie Murphy would say, habitual line steppers.
Yeah.
That's us. And as a person who is like that, I tire and I get exasperated with this waiting to be insulted by anything culture that has just spread like a fucking vile disease.
Yes.
In the last 10 years in this fucking country.
One thing I miss about our new society is we have lost shut the fuck up. That apparently is now off the table, and I miss it.
And when dude, I was so fucking, I guess, optimistic. And maybe that's not the right word, but I was like, oh, this bullshit, this politically correct bullshit, this pushing an agenda bullshit, this won't fly in sports, because the ultimate goal of the people, the owners of these sports teams, is to make money and win championships. They don't give a fuck about whose feelings they hurt on the way to the bank or to the championship parade. Well, 10 years on, here we are sitting here, and ESPN fired all the old guard, hired a bunch of women anchors. It's not even fucking. They're not even trying to deny that they have an agenda by doing this. They're just pushing. Oh well, we're trying to get more women interested in sports. Really. So
chasing that dollar, the woman dollar.
You really think a woman anchor is going to make a difference? No, you're being politically correct. You're pandering to people who don't give a shit about your product, is what you're doing.
Yeah.
All right. And this is not just in. And this, okay. Case in point, women's hockey.
Oh,
that big fucking rigmarole, and we got to get paid and this and that. And what did I say every time we discussed it? I don't give a fuck if they claim it's a nonprofit. Someone somewhere is keeping tabs on how much money is coming in at the turnstile. Chris, what was that article you sent?
You sent it.
Oh, I sent it?
Yes.
No. You and ICEman got into it over it. I sent it. That's right. But no, what was it? They averaged what? Less than, how many was it? Like 7,000?
It was 22,000 people attended a 22-game tournament. I believe when I figured it out, it was average attendance of like 910 people each game.
Exactly.
A world hockey tournament. World. It wasn't like for the Tri-County area. The planet that we're all on right now.
Now here's the bitch of it. The same tournament, when held in Canada, blew those numbers out of the water. Now, are you telling me that Canada, with their 37 million people, are somehow more enlightened to women's sports?
What I'm telling you is
they love fucking hockey.
Here we go.
Yes. It could be two Eskimos pushing frozen fish home to eat. And people are like, hockey game? What?
Exactly.
Build some boards, put up some glass.
This is what I go back to. So USA women's hockey won their fight. And what did they really win? Did they put any more asses in the seats? And for all the attention it drew to their sport, is it putting people in the seats? Is it making new fans?
Maybe two.
The answer's no.
Survey says, yeah, no. So, okay, congrats. This is what I'm talking about. Everything has to be completely equal. No. Look, I'm all for giving everyone an equal starting point.
You know what, Rich?
Hold on. When the gun fires, we all start at the same time. But we cannot sit here in sports and demand equal outcomes, because people aren't equal like that. Some people are taller, some people are faster, some people are stronger. It's just nature. If you have a problem with that, don't get on your fucking Tumblr page. Don't get on Facebook and Twitter. Open your front door, walk outside, and start screaming at nature, because that's who fucking decided that.
Fuck you, nature.
No, with people wanting to be equal from now on, I want to see men compete in beauty pageants.
The worst beauty pageants ever.
I don't mean drag queens, and I don't mean gay people. I mean straight up.
Look at my gut.
Heterosexual men.
Look at this in a bikini.
Beard, beer belly.
Let's be honest.
I want it in there.
Let's be honest. Like Jared Leto, Johnny Depp when he was younger, they could have competed in beauty pageants.
No, see, that's what I said. I don't want that. I want beards. I want beer guts.
Men.
I want beer guts. The Sunday morning T-shirt.
He wants chest hair.
Absolutely.
The problem is you're not understanding. They want equality on their terms. They want equality with set-asides, okay? Just like, a plus-size model in the female modeling world, the first quote-unquote plus-size model that got signed to a major modeling agency was 5'2", 280 pounds. The first plus-size male model who got signed to a major modeling agency is 6'8", 220 pounds.
I know, right?
That's plus size?
Yeah, no.
That's a big, tall motherfucker. That's all he is.
Yeah.
Okay, but that's equality in their mind. Okay, so we have a chick.
That's an NBA player. What is 6'8", 220?
We have a chick who literally is the definition, textbook definition of morbidly obese, and we have a guy who probably, according to his BMI, falls within the standard for his weight and height. But he's plus size, and just like her. Bullshit. I mean, look, women's sports, certain women's sports are not going to draw what men's draw. And I hate to say this because I guess it's unfair. If the world was fair, we would have nothing to bitch about. Everything would be perfect and rosy.
There's no audience for it, man. He's not in the U.S.
Okay? We can't, you have at least 20 people on a hockey team. All right? They're paying those women $68,000 in salaries to be on that hockey team. Somewhere along the line, they're losing money. That's just the salaries for the players. It doesn't include trainers, keeping up on the ice, keeping up on the venue, advertisement, travel, none of that. And they draw $22,000 for 22 games. That's what they draw.
Let's say they charge $30 a ticket, and they actually took in money for every one of those tickets, which you goddamn well didn't. Near the end, they just probably started, here, giving them the radio stations by the fistful. Here, give this shit away. Get rid of this. $30 a ticket. Let's say they sold all of those tickets. It's only $660,000 for a 22-game tournament that involved the entire world. So that is a loss. I mean, how many people did you say was on that team, Rich? There are 20 players?
Has to be at least 20, yeah.
So let's see, 20 times 68,000 is you have a $1.3 million payroll.
That's fucking impossible, man.
For one team, yeah. You have a $1.3 million payroll for one team if everyone's getting the $68,000 minimum.
And like I was saying, the problem isn't they got paid. The problem is that anybody who points out, hey, look, they don't draw, and they're running at a deficit here, is shouted down as sexist, as misogynist, as you hate women. No. I'm pointing out fucking facts. Let me tell you something. There are men's sports that draw like that, and guess what? No one's propping them up artificially.
Yeah.
No one's saying, well, we have to make sure these guys get paid even though they don't draw. What's said is, well, if the sport was more popular or you were better, you'd be in a better league, or you'd be making more money because you'd put more asses in the seats. So don't know what to tell you. Tough luck.
Hey, for those of you playing along at home with the math, again, this is if they sold every one of those 22,000 tickets. By the way, it's like 22,034. Don't bust my balls on 34 tickets. All right, it's not going to make or break these calculations. $61.81 is what you would have had to charge for each of those tickets to cover one payroll for one team.
Oops.
Yeah, I know, right? So were these tickets like $6,000 each?
Super Bowl tickets up in this motherfucker?
How many?
Yeah, I know, right?
How many teams were in this?
I would imagine at least 8.
No, well, I got Google in front of me. What was this? The 2017 World Women's Hockey Tournament schedule. All right. I should just have all the teams. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Yeah. All right. So 8 teams in this tournament. All right. Times 8 divided by 2,000. Tickets would have to have been $494.54 to cover the payroll for all of the teams, for what they sold anyway. So all of a long way of saying, just proving it with math, ladies and gentlemen, it was a loss. There's no audience for it.
And here's another thing I find interesting. The politically correct Sports Center, who pushes women's basketball and shows those highlights first on their 6:00 Sports Center, like everyone's waiting with bated breath to fucking find out what happened in women's basketball. Where were they on this? Why weren't they pushing this fucking tournament and this sport down every sports fan's throat? Oh, is it because it's hockey and because they got a hard-on against hockey because of what happened with the NHL and them? Is that it, maybe? So political correctness only goes so far. Ultimately, if you fucked me over, then it's okay to be politically incorrect towards your sport. It's okay to ignore your precious women's sport because, you just so happen to play the same game that the NHL plays, and the NHL didn't want to play ball and take, the scraps that we were offering them. So, fuck it, we're going to bury them. Isn't that amazing? But no one's calling out ESPN on that shit. No one. There's no articles. I follow so many fucking hockey pages. I'm inundated with fucking hockey shit. The minute I sit down at my computer or I fucking turn on my phone. And I've yet to see one article calling out ESPN for this type of shit. I've seen articles praising ESPN for putting as much emphasis on women's sports, like the women's NCAA tournament, as the men's sport. Really? Okay, do we even need to open up Google and fucking search the viewership numbers on those two sports compared?
No.
Does anybody here even know who was first pick in the women's draft?
I didn't even know there was a women's draft.
I was about to say, did you guys even know there was a women's draft? Right.
Well, I mean,
I do because I watched the damn thing, but still.
WNBA has to have one. It's not like these chicks are just getting out of college or in high school and just going to any team that'll have them. I mean, they have to go through the draft.
I bet you guys could tell me which college she came from.
UConn. We guess UConn. But this type of shit is what I agree, and it's going back to whatever side you fall on politically. When I hear someone say, when I watch sports, I don't want to be beat over the head with political bullshit. I understand that. I get that. And as much as sports has been used to further political agendas or as propaganda since the dawn of time, I mean, it's going to happen, but it just seems like now one side's being pushed and the other side can't even fucking speak up and point out truths without being shouted down and labeled and marginalized. And that's not how this shit's supposed to work. That's not how this country is supposed to work, I mean, we joke about the First Amendment, but do you guys understand you can go to jail for saying certain things that we take for granted we have the freedom to say here in this country? In Canada,
you can't bring that up, otherwise you're a fucking right-wing asshole now. You can't.
No, I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about they will throw your ass in jail if you don't use a person's preferred pronouns in Canada.
I know, man, but you can't make that argument anymore because you're a fucking right-wing nutjob who's beating the Constitution. But it's funny how people will beat the Constitution when it suits their needs. Travel ban, people. But yeah.
Well, it's like even and like challenging the status quo is not a bad thing in and of itself. Okay. And speaking truth to power isn't a bad thing either. But when you have players like, okay, just saw this story the other day. Joe Thomas is retiring, offensive tackle. Okay, was drafted by Miami, played for Miami, the Browns, and I can't remember who else. But he was was it Joe Thomas or Jake Long? I think it was Jake Long. Anyways, what I'm getting at is that he retired and they started talking to him in a post-retirement interview, and he starts talking about the NFL's drug testing policy pre-NFL draft and how ridiculous it is. And boom, a bunch of people came down on him.
Son, I can see you've had a poppy seed muffin. We don't want that kind of atmosphere here at the Dallas Cowboys.
And I'm like, are you fucking serious? We're talking about E60, Real Sports, any sports video magazine has all of them have ran how players, current and former, use prescription drugs out the ass, and they get fucked up on. Ryan Leaf. Homeboy was in prison over prescription drugs for pain because he was addicted to painkillers.
Wasn't there stories about Favre going out?
Yeah.
Just like wasn't Favre didn't he have his greatest year ever? Like just totally fucked up on Vicodin the whole time.
Yeah, in the book about him that I don't remember the author, but it just came out in the last couple of months. Yeah, he admitted he used to take fucking 20 fucking Vikes, wash it down with a case of beer, and that was his recovery routine after a game.
Just so you know, I set you up, Rich. It wasn't Connecticut. It was Washington.
Oh, was it?
Yeah, Connecticut player didn't get picked till the second pick of the third frickin' round.
Well, hey, by the way, big ups to Brett Favre's liver for still functioning.
Yeah, no shit, right? But that's okay. He's got money. He'll be bumped to the top of the list here.
All right, like Larry Hagman. Didn't Larry Hagman get like 4 livers or some shit?
And finally, they were like, "Yeah, we're just done, dude. You burned through 2 of them."
Yeah.
Yeah. We're not giving you. I think he died waiting for his 3rd one.
Yeah.
But players speak up and go, well, there's alternatives to all these pain pills that we get strung out on. Medical marijuana, CBD oil. You don't even get high from it. It just takes the pain away. All right. Why are these things banned? And the powers that be in the leagues shit all over these players and do their best to discredit them. Meanwhile, you got fucking people doing interviews with Real Sports who are active NFL players who say 70% of the NFL uses marijuana because if they didn't, they would be strung out on fucking pills that their own team gave them.
Jake Plummer has become a real advocate for pot now that he's out of the league. He's become a sports stoner spokesperson, I guess, for a better way to put it.
Well, I mean, there's a bunch of players. Darren McCarty, same thing.
Yeah.
Oh, shit. I forget. Homeboy.
Ricky Williams.
Your favorite player.
Ricky Williams.
He used to play for the Pistons. Stackhouse. He's another one that spoke up on it. Now, granted, he hasn't gotten. Well, Ricky Williams didn't speak up on it. He just didn't put it down. That's.
Ricky Williams straight up said, "I'm going to quit playing football because you won't let me smoke pot." That is commitment.
Yeah, and your favorite player, Rich.
Who?
Probert.
Yeah, Probert liked the powder more than he liked the plants, dude.
How fitting that he ended his life in powder form.
Yeah, I know, right?
and in the penalty box. That's how more fitting than anybody.
I kind of wonder if Kosher went over there and snorted a line of Probert off the penalty box.
I know, right? Hey, this one's for old times, Bobby.
And so you with me. And so you always with me, man.
Take it to the head. Take it to the head.
But no, I mean, and then, okay, speaking of ridiculous drug policies, who's the baseball player who just got 80 games?
Starling Mart. Boy, dude. That guy has to be super, like I said, big, huge bouquet at the Connecticut funeral home for Aaron Hernandez. Because that story had about maybe a fucking 12-hour run in the news cycle, and then, bing, done, garbage. Nobody cares. But what did he get nailed for?
I honestly, I hadn't even heard this story because it got buried under the Hernandez shit. So, do you know what he got nailed for?
I know he got 80 games, which you have to see.
It means it's his second offense, I believe.
Let's see. Here we go.
It just says 80 game suspension for testing positive for performance-enhancing drugs.
PEDs.
But here's the thing. There's certain things that are over-the-counter that we can go buy. We don't even need to flash an ID that will fail you on some of these fucking drug tests in the NFL and NBA, NHL, MLB. So I'm like I said, I guess I'm a little cynical. I want to know what he tested positive for.
Yeah, if you drink enough Monster, it comes back as you tested for methamphetamines.
I believe it. I used to drink that shit all the time.
I mean, so I mean, there's been false positives. I know people who, fucked up, whatever, and then they had to go on probation, and they've tested either inconclusive or false positives over something they ate or something they took that was over the counter.
There's an article I found here that's pretty much throwing the steroids all around the article.
Okay, so probably human growth hormone or something along those lines. But here's my point. Okay, so Major League Baseball passed these policies to keep people from taking steroids. It hasn't done that. So can we just drop the facade that we're trying to keep players off steroids and just be honest, we're just punishing people who take steroids?
Ooh, I even got a name now. Nandrolone? It's an anabolic steroid that has become very popular during the Olympics. It's been around for years. In 2003, there were 73 test results that came back positive. During that time, the MLB decided, blah, blah, blah. Well, yeah, there you go. Trying to get on the Olympic level shit. Definitely probably had a Russian source then, huh?
Well, and this all goes back to, why? Look, I understand people who go, and this is mostly on this show, it's mostly the ICEman that feels this way. People that are like, hey, if you take fucking performance enhancing drugs, you're cheating. You're a cheater. That's all there is. Case closed. Earl, you've made that point multiple times on the show. My point is, why the fuck don't we just fucking, you want to take this shit? Take it.
Yeah, let it go, man. Just go ape shit with it. Motherfuckers hitting 100 home runs.
Just gonna have fucking gorillas playing sports?
Because, dude, the testing is never going to keep up. The people masking their drug use is always going to be one step ahead of the testing. And, I mean, we have cases upon cases of that happening with high-profile players in every sport. I mean, Lance Armstrong, 7 Tour de France's he won. This before he had cancer. Okay? So, there could be No, hold on. Listen to me. He won a couple of those before he had cancer. He was Lance Armstrong before he lost his nut. He wasn't like he was nobody, had cancer, and then became Lance Armstrong. He was Lance Armstrong before he had cancer. Okay? He was a Tour de France champion. He even admitted he was on steroids then. He didn't need to be on them. But he said, everybody's on them. It's the only way I could keep my competitive edge. What does that tell you? It tells you that the people at the top of the profession who have the money and are willing to give it to people who can give them drugs that are just so far ahead of the curve that they can't catch them are going to do so.
Yeah, but Rich, if you go that route, the skill level of people isn't going to matter anymore.
I could jack you up on every fucking steroid that Barry Bonds ever took, and you couldn't fucking come close to touching his career numbers because you don't have the natural ability.
Oh, and I'm too old.
I could do it when you were fucking. I could start when you were. I wouldn't start when you were a kid because I doubt he started when he was a kid. But that's what I'm getting at. Someone like Barry Bonds had the natural ability. Mark McGwire in his rookie season hit 49 home runs. Look at his rookie card. He doesn't look like Mark McGwire looks nowadays.
So what do you do?
He's a skinny twig, and he was still hitting 49 home runs in his rookie year.
All right, idea. You find a good, prospect from like a middle school baseball team, and you just start juicing them from the time you get them, from like 12, and you see what happens.
I mean, what I'm getting at is that you
150 mile an hour fastballs,
but you have to have the talent there. If you just pump steroids into you and work out, you're just going to get big.
Say pump steroids into, go either. Oh, this sounds weird. Go either middle school playgrounds for the fucking.
Well, that's what I'm saying. But obviously, maybe I couldn't hit a fastball like Barry Bonds, but I can move a fucking fat ass lineman out of my way and crush the quarterback.
Look at it as an investment opportunity. Like, all right, I'll grab this kid when he's 12, pump full of steroids, keep working with him. Bam, greatest athlete ever. He dies at 33.
Okay, but at what point are we looking at at players in these sports and going, it's okay we put you on drugs that are going to kill you, destroy your liver, you could possibly get addicted to. It's okay we're going to pump you full of shit to where you don't feel the pain of the injury that you've sustained, and you can keep out and go play, and you can go play and injure yourself further, but we're going to ban HGH to help you fucking recover from that injury quicker.
I know, right?
That makes no sense.
Better have some stem cells in that locker room.
That's what I'm saying.
Hey, you know what? Career-ending injuries is part of what Chris is saying. Natural selection, dude. You don't get to take PEDs to help you recover and come back. Sorry.
What happens when they can put us on robot bodies, Iceman? Huh? What then?
See. Every time we go here, some white guy wants to bring robot bodies out of their ass.
It's 2029. They're predicting it.
You better be lucky Aaron isn't on this fucking show.
I know, right? He's going to be here soon. We're doing a ICEman in a minute.
He'd be balls deep into singularity by now.
It's 2029. Ray Kurzweil has said. It's in our lifetimes, gentlemen. It's in a scant 12 years. We may never have to die.
Oh, no. We're going to have to die because none of us have enough money.
That's true.
If we have robot bodies instead of PEDs, fucking start carrying magnets.
It'd be like the Mutant Football League. We all played that. Remember that shit? Mutant Sports League. Didn't they have a hockey too? I think they had one for each sport.
They also had a robot football game to where if you took enough hits and shit, your player would explode.
Yeah, let's talk about. Let's make shit interesting.
Look, I mean, I'm not coming down on the side of saying every fucking player should be pumping this shit into it, but look, we're never going to stop it. All right, and it just like the war on drugs hasn't stopped people from using drugs. The war on terror hasn't stopped people from committing acts of terror. All right. So instead of doing the same thing and getting the same results, which are nothing, try a different approach, try a different strategy. That's really what I'm saying. I mean, I'm being facetious for the most part when I'm like, oh yeah, well fucking just let everybody fucking take steroids.
Right.
I mean, honestly,
instead of giving them more chances, throw them the fuck out. Bye.
Yeah, but dude, here's the problem with that. Owners will never go for that. Owners
exactly. You can't make the solution, Rich, and then make the excuse of why we can't do it. That's your solution. I'm not making
the excuse. The owners won't go for that because owners are going to go, wait a minute, we fucking brought this guy up from Dominican Republic, put him through our minor league system, brought him up to the majors, and he gets busted taking performance enhancing drugs, and now you just want to boot him, and all that money and time and effort that we've put into him is just gone.
Sue him. I don't know what to tell you.
Rich guys don't like to jettison money. They want to
get a scout that can be dependable like the old days. No, this kid's pure. No needles have been stuck. We're good. Otherwise, you're going to just regulate the problem, Rich. That's why. And you answered your own question. Money.
But are you looking at it from a nuanced point of view, or are you looking at it from a black and white, all or nothing point of view?
No, I'm looking at it as black and white, all or nothing. If you use steroids, if you use PEDs, bye. See ya.
And see, that's what gets us in the situations that we're in, where people fucking just hurl insults at each other and throw dumpsters at each other in Berkeley, because no one wants to fucking realize that it's not black or white. There's a whole lot of gray in there. All right, I'm not talking.
How is it gray?
How is it gray? How is it fucking giving cortisone and steroid shots to guys so they don't feel their injuries and they go out there and they injure themselves further? Okay, but not getting but under a league supervised program, we can't give players human growth hormone to speed up their recovery process.
No, Rich, you missed me. I said it's both ways. If you're injured and can't come back without the use of PEDs, bye. Early retirement. I hope you're saved. I hope you got a good agent that guaranteed you a contract.
Okay, so using that line of logic, we don't even need team doctors. The minute you're injured, just get the fuck off the field or the ice, and that's it.
I said career ending
series of golf carts. There you go. So you shoot them in the locker room too?
It's going to look like Madden 92 with the golf carts rolling on the fucking field, knocking players over every 5 seconds. Look, man, all I'm saying is the current policy isn't working. You want to fucking go more hardcore. All that's going to do is fucking take players out of the league that people want to see fucking play.
Okay, and welcome to 30, 40 years ago, Rich. That's what happened. We didn't have all of this, use this and it's going to bring you back. Either you went off for...
They were popping fucking amphetamine and coke like it was fucking candy.
I didn't say they weren't using illegal drugs, dude. I said they weren't using PEDs.
What do you think amphetamine does for fucking baseball players back in the day that used to have to fucking play doubleheaders that were scheduled? Those are what greenies were, dude. Those guys would fucking take those by the handful and drink a fucking pot of coffee with it. And yes, it did perk them up. It got them so they could go out there and perform at a higher level than their hungover ass could have before they fucking popped them in their mouth. There's entire careers back in the day with all of these sports heroes that we hold up were made on fucking them taking illegal substances to enhance their performance. I mean, it gets glossed over because, steroids. It didn't just start in the 80s. That's just when they started getting good enough to catch these motherfuckers left and right. Don't you remember what started the whole thing with Mark McGwire was creatine in his locker during an interview right over his shoulder in the open? He wasn't even hiding the shit. That's what started all this.
Yeah, being a big dummy. With that big head, there'd be some extra brain.
I mean, you take the hardline approach, okay, fine. Then you're going to have a very thin fucking league full of players. And if that's what you want, that's fine. But I know you too well to know that 3 years down the road if you were the commissioner of the NFL and after you implemented these draconian fucking policies and drug laws, 3 years down the road, you're going to be bitching that the product on the field isn't that good because you got a bunch of players out there who are half-assing it. No, you got a bunch of players out there who they don't have the fucking talent and they're too scared to fucking take the shit that everybody else fucking takes. Why is this game so slow? Why are they not hitting like they used to hit? I mean, we can't have it both ways.
Fucking thing sucks!
It's entertainment, okay? It's entertainment. It's ultimately what sports is. It's not life or death for anybody but the people playing the game. Everybody else is entertainment. Yes, you have fanatics that take it way too fucking seriously, but you have that with anything. Go look up a website called It's Still Real to Me, damn it, and laugh your ass off at the wrestling fans. 45-year-old men crying. To me, damn it. Exactly. Crying, dude. Like a baby. But, I mean, dude, I don't know. Whatever. The whole thing is 80 games. I think MLB does this. I think the first time it's 20 games, second time it's 80 games, third time it's a lifetime ban.
Damn. One more. 3 strikes, you're out.
My problem is when they have players that are testing positive and it's for shit that doesn't really help them in their performance, but it's a banned substance. Well, then why is it banned? Oh, because you want to appear to be cracking down on an issue. You want to appear to be taking the tough hard line on an issue. I mean, I don't know. We're not going to agree, Earl, but it's not as black and white as people want to make it out to be. It's just not. If we knew the real statistics, if we could, in the 4 major sports in this country, and then add in Olympic athletes, could answer honestly with no repercussions, how many of them have ever taken something that is against the rules, not necessarily illegal as far as the law of the land, but just against the rules of their sport to try to get an edge? I think we'd all be sitting here shocked at how high of a percentage of players would be like, yeah, I've done it.
Absolutely.
I'd be willing to bet it's in the 80 percentile range.
Be a lot less heroes in the world, so to speak. A lot of people going, oh, well, you're off my list.
I mean, look, I get it. They're cracking down. He got caught. Whatever. I mean, I'm tell you right now, if I'm a Pirates fan, I'm pissed off.
Yeah, that's your season pretty much, isn't it? And he's a stud on the Pirates.
I mean, dude, can you imagine during his Triple Crown year if it had come out that Cabrera had tested positive for some banned substance?
All right, you got to take whatever Miguel Cabrera took. All right, guys, that's what I'm saying. Make a call to Miggy. There's always been whispers about Miggy, but he's never gotten caught. Just saying.
The one thing I can give Miggy is that Miggy has always been 6'5" and 200, and oh my fucking God, this man's a beast. He's always been that.
Yeah.
Even when he was a shortstop coming up with the Marlins. Dude's always been huge. When your head starts growing 3 hat sizes magically in your late 30s, yeah, dude. You're overdoing it.
Yeah.
And I mean, let me just ask you this, Earl, and then I'll drop I'll get off my soapbox.
You gotta hold on for the ICEman. He said his computer rebooted for no reason.
Okay. Well, I mean,
this has not been our greatest day, technically. We are winning no awards at the technical awards this year for today's broadcast.
Yes, whoever's listening, we're sorry. We have been plagued with technical difficulties through the entire show.
Yes, it's been like the computer stopped recording. We've had the internet drop out twice. ICEman's computer apparently just rebooted for no reason.
And I was kind of worried because I've had the power flicker on and off 3 times earlier today for no reason.
Yeah. Well, I looked outside. It's windy. That's what I blame the 2 internet issues on.
Yeah, I was kind of wondering if it was going to happen to me, but ironically, not yet.
Yeah. And I said, no, we're not winning any technical awards this year for this show. We're not putting the show up in that category.
Well, I mean, okay, I'll throw the question to you until he comes back. Show me a victim of someone using performance-enhancing drugs in sports. Where's the victim at?
The guy who ends up getting cancer and dying.
Okay. So, in other words, no different than the hockey players that dip or drink, or baseball players who dip or smoke, or used to do snuff and drink, et cetera, et cetera. They're hurting no one but themselves.
Yeah.
So, if that's the case,
and the sanctity of the game.
There we go. That's what I was waiting for, because that's the argument right there. That's the argument.
And the sanctity of the game that didn't allow black players until the mid-50s.
Yeah, the sanctity of the game that did its best to fucking keep paying players pennies on the dollar from what the owners were making.
The sanctity of the game that was home to the Black Sox scandal.
Yeah. Just on and on and on and on. That gets brought up by people as a last resort, as like, well, you can't question that. Yeah, I fucking can.
The sanctity of the game where somebody like Ty Cobb is held up in high esteem.
And literally took a bat into the stands and tried to kill somebody during the game. Yes.
I like the style of that. You know what I'm saying?
Well, it's better than an NBA player who went crying to the ref.
I got a dark sense of humor, it's a little part of me yeah, it's fucking cool. But I know, I get what you're saying.
The whole it's black or it's white thing. I don't know. Maybe if they were like Chris Bedwine, their family from Roid Rage.
I know, right?
You know what I'm saying? I mean, but
what about the argument of the man's family who dies from cancer? What about those people? They're out there. Good Lord, we know they're out there. This day and age, probably don't have to look hard to find them.
So is this really what it is? Is that is this the horseshoe theory in effect for the people, the hardliners on the right and the hardliners on the left? Basically, it comes down to you have to live your life according to everybody else's approval. Because that's really what it sounds like it's coming down to. Because like a guy like Earl, who is like, oh, well, you use steroids, that's it. You're out of the game forever. That's how I would do that. All right. Well, that's more for, other people's sake. And then people on the left who supposedly are more sensitive would be like, well, what about his family? So basically, he can't do anything. This fictional man we're talking about can't do anything because he has to get everybody else's approval. Mm. He can't make a decision for himself. Every decision he makes, he has to weigh what everybody else is going to fucking say or think or feel. I mean, is that what it's coming down to? Because I can't see an argument besides I don't like steroids in the game.
We are in the age of feelings. Feelings trump facts. I mean, that's all there is to it. It's just how it's the winds that have been blowing since about even the 90s. I mean, when the whole PC culture started, now, I mean, we've talked about it. I still think we should try to riff track the movie PCU on Unregimented. What, honestly, but that movie 20 years ago was a comedy. Now you could watch it and be like, no, that shit happens now. This shit isn't a joke now.
No, dude.
Some of the scenes in that movie, some of the things they're protesting, some of the comedy scenes.
Oh, definitely, dude. There was an article, because I guess the 20th anniversary of that movie passed here in the last year or so. And there was an article on that movie about how people our age watch that movie and laugh, and people like my brother's age watch that movie and don't understand what's so funny.
It's like a documentary.
They just don't get it.
What, dude? That's a Tuesday for me.
And I'm just like, okay. I mean, going back to what we were talking about earlier, trying to force society's ever-changing standards on people because, oh, well, we need to push, this woman's sport on ESPN because we're owned by Disney, and Disney's one of the most, Disney panders to people more than any corporation I think I know of. I mean, we talked about this in Unregimented. They actually film sometimes 2 separate movies just so they can guarantee a release in China.
Yeah.
I mean, this is the level of pandering, and people don't care they're being pandered to anymore.
I don't know. I think everyone knows
that insults my intelligence when people do that. These people are happy to have it happen.
Yeah, I don't like knowing I'm being pandered to. Oh, I think I've noticed it. I think the other day, or I had at least a thought about it. To me, it's the impatience of it all. Let's do this right now. Like, it took 100 years to shake out slavery. You know, it took till 1920 to get women to vote. I'm not saying it should still move that slow, but this, like, must happen right now. Like, that's not how things go. I mean, I understand, like, you want to move the movement forward, but just the impatience of it. It's like...
Well, there's also so much hypocrisy.
Maybe I'm coming at it from the point of a middle-aged guy, but I don't know.
There's also so much hypocrisy on the side of the so-called progressives. Okay, because this is what I've noticed with a lot of these people. They're the first ones to throw their hands up and say, I just absolutely loathe violence. And yet they use tactics that are basically the same as violence to get what they want.
Yeah.
They use threats. They use intimidation. Okay. Tell me how someone...
Tools of the white man.
Tell me how someone going online, seeing an athlete post something that they don't like, that they don't feel is politically correct, and then basically extorting a written by his publicist apology out of him under threat of taking his career away from him is any different than when the mafia used to walk up to a local business owner and go, that's a nice store you got. Be a shame if it burned down tomorrow night.
Yeah.
Tell me how that's any different.
Did you see that shit with Dan Amendola on Twitter when he thanked President Trump for the shout out or whatever because he was one of the people that had to miss the visit? He had like a funeral or something to go to. That's what he said. But he had to delete his tweet because so many, he just was like, hey, thanks or something. It was something pretty innocuous. People were like, oh, he used to be my favorite player, like, and all this shit, getting all these hate tweets, and he had to delete it. What the fuck, everybody? By the way, does Earl have to hand crank his computer or hand crank? Like, for real, like, we got a timestamp on this message when his computer had to reboot. That's 15 minutes ago.
I know, and he's like, stupid Dell. I'm like, dude, I got a Dell. What are you talking about? This shit's fine.
Dude, is your Dell from 2007?
Yeah, is it literally the one that was
in
the commercial when he was like, dude, you're getting a Dell?
Yeah, is it the one from 1997? It's the one from that guy? Do you have a Gateway ICEman?
He's got a 386.
I know, right?
He's playing Oregon Trail, waiting for that fucker to boot up.
Dude, we have done like 15 minutes of show.
I know his ass needs to hurry up and get back just so we can do the fucking sign off.
I know, right? 1BA playoffs, real quick. You can sum that up. What's the nuts? The Cavs and the Warriors they're already waiting to see who they're going to play. Everyone else, it's actually a series, except the Rockets look like they may take out OKC, which is the battle of the MVP players. Where is this, like, for real? Like,
it's just popped up on my alerts here.
Somebody dead in jail?
No, but it makes me kind of wonder if this is the type of shit that allowed Edmonton to get in the second round. Apparently, Logan Couture on the Sharks played the entire series with 2 facial fractures, and Joe Thornton played on a torn ACL and MCL.
Yeah. That's playing with pain.
So if these guys were that
face
beat
was
up
broken
in 2 places.
That guy played with a broken face, literally.
I mean, so if that's the level that the Sharks were beaten up, it might be a short series for the Edmonton Oilers. Ducks might be like, hey, guess what? We're just bruised. We ain't that beat up.
Yeah. Well, hey, man, what do you think about AP to the Saints?
Because they're in a division with my Bucks, I guess I should be more scared than I am. But I stick by my fucking I stick by my analysis at AP, dude. His career is over.
Yeah, this is where the sun's going to set. Hey, at least he'll be near Bourbon Street and have a good time while doing it.
You get some titties and throw out some beads.
Also,
I mean,
white woman titties once a year, man. They have that party.
But yeah, dude, his stats have been tracking down for years now. I mean, yards per carry, all of them. And it's just like, To me, it's like when the Lions signed Reggie Bush.
Yeah.
And people either got way too excited or people were just like, oh, good, another player who's going to end his career here. Wonderful.
That was me. I was like, if you paid any attention to his career, you should not be excited about this signing.
This is what I don't understand, how avid football fans who have a sense of history about the game don't see this. And it must be just being willfully obtuse about the situation. Running backs, when they start dropping off, they drop off fast.
Yeah, because you could hit a lot.
Exactly. Almost every fucking play that you touch that ball, you're getting hit.
Kind of defines the term impact position in a different sense.
I mean, I compared it one time to when cats get sick, and then because I've known so many people over the years ago, my cat's sick, and a week later, my cat's dead.
Damn.
Like, god damn. You know what I'm saying?
Cats are the running backs of...
Cats are nature's running backs.
Yeah,
like when
nature's running backs.
When I hear, oh, my running back stats are trending down, you better get them off your fantasy team.
I know.
As a wasted roster spot.
I mean, so far, my couple experiences with cats is like, my one cat I had, the vet's like, yeah, he's sick. Didn't even make it a year, And then the other cat that I used to live with, as soon as noticed cat was sick, boom. So cats are nature's running backs. Man, all right, we're going to Earl's now into the Commodore 64 level. His computer reset on him 20 minutes ago.
I think
might have to end the show without him.
At this point, I think he's playing an Atari 2600.
I know.
Like, seriously,
well, the wife was home too.
Oh, did he send that?
No. But his wife comes home around 5, so for his time, that was almost an hour ago.
Gotcha. Well, I guess a whole lot of fuck it then. Yeah.
I know, right?
We'll just I guess sign off without him. You know what's going to happen? We're going to sign off, and he's going to come right back on.
Hey, I'm back, guys. We're fucking done. Because you have a fucking Commodore 64. You have a ColecoVision. You have the Texas Instruments that you had to hook up to the back of your television set.
Yeah, no shit, right?
Maybe his computer just died. His computer just said, fuck it, in the middle of the show.
Oh, here we go. I'll throw this out there as one last fucking attempt to stretch it for a minute or so until he comes back.
For a TV show right now, there's some guy standing there just fucking pulling his hands apart going, keep it going, guys, keep it going.
Did you hear about the shit they're serving at Comerica Park this season?
No.
Dude, chicken shawarma nachos.
And that's about right. I mean, Dearborn's right there. That sounds good, actually. I want to try that shit.
That's not... don't be that guy. Dude, it's probably $30 for a plate that wouldn't even fill up a fucking infant. But what I'm getting at is, that's not ballpark food.
It's nachos, right? It's just fancy nachos for Whitey. Shawarma nachos? I would eat that shit. I would try it. Sounds delicious. It's better than it's better than something that you call... and I'm using air quotes here, which is great for audio medium, cheese.
The cheese product.
Yes.
Dude, okay.
Loose with the term cheese.
Hot dogs, soft pretzels, popcorn, Cracker Jack, cotton candy.
Do you let pizza slide into that?
Only because of who owns the Tigers. That's it.
I just mean in general. Even if you're at a random, not Detroit ballpark.
You shouldn't have pizza there. No.
Really? Wow, you are fucking hardcore with the food. Oh, hey, look who comes stumbling back in.
Jesus Christ. Did you fall down the stairs with your computer?
That's an entrance.
It sounded like that drop for the dude going down the stairs.
I know. Stumbling in.
Shut up.
We were talking about chicken shawarma nachos, Earl. Where are you at on that?
At the ballpark.
Yeah, Rich is apparently a ballpark food purist.
Well, I mean, it's not just it's not just because it's chicken shawarma. It's just the shit I've been seeing coming out of like when the new Yankee Stadium opened. They had we got gourmet sushi and shit. Sushi and baseball do not go together unless I'm in Japan.
It's New York, son.
I am so not in the shape I was 20 years ago.
Is it due to chicken shawarma nachos?
It's actually due to nachos, cheeseburgers, hot dogs, Cracker Jacks.
$90 at the gas station on a Munchie Run. That's what that's from. I can't.
That's what that is from.
I want to see an itemized receipt. How do you spend? We want to like.
Hey! I have a witness here now. So
is there a
Were you chain smoking?
Was there a microphone or a microwave at this gas station? So were things like hot dogs and nachos in play?
Nachos was in play. It wasn't microwaved. They have the dispenser there, and we cleaned it up.
So you got nachos, you got drinks. They said chips, candy. I mean, how do you spend $90?
You buy all of that shit at once at a gas station.
Like a shelf's worth? Like I said, like 3 Mountain Dews, 2 liters. That's $6. Okay. How'd you spend $90? Or like 4 bags of Doritos. Oh, look out. We're up to $17. Adding that together.
Yeah, look, Chris, listen. Tina, how much was our bill at the gas station?
$90.
How?
It looked like we went grocery shopping.
If you didn't buy gas, how the fuck did you do that? I regularly eat out of gas stations. That's what I'm telling you. Like, I know what's going on there.
Yeah,
I'm telling you.
You try to eat healthy. There's a difference.
No, we look like we went grocery shopping. We went and there was hot dogs, not hot dogs, but like bratwurst, sausages that were on the rotisserie thing. We got apple pies, cupcakes, chips, pop, Monster.
Okay, I'm hearing $50.
No,
you got to remember there was 2 people though, dude.
I don't know, man.
Okay, you've never met Earl in person. Okay, Earl is okay. This asshole. We're sitting at his dad's house, and he's like, "I'm hungry. Hey, Dad, can we order a pizza?" His dad's like, "Yeah, order a pizza." And he goes, "Boy, I'm going to order a stuffed crust. I could eat a whole stuffed crust by myself." Like, you can't eat a whole fucking large stuffed crust pizza by yourself. This fucker made himself sick eating a whole stuffed crust pizza by himself.
Yeah. That's commitment.
Dude, seriously. I mean, do you understand how much cheese is just in the crust on a stuffed crust pizza?
Dude, on a good night.
I know exactly how much.
On a good night, I could take out a grande meal, just all 10 hard tacos. Fuck.
How the fuck am I the fattest guy on this podcast and you guys eat like fucking pigs compared to me? I couldn't do that.
Well, I don't do that on the regular. But when I had a job where I was on my feet for 50 hours a week, I would go to Del Taco on Dollar Taco Day and order like 10 of those bitches and eat all of them. Like, done. Just.
Oh, you can't do that. Tacos easy. 1 bite taco. Stop it.
1 bite? Jesus, bro. You have stomach problems.
But anyways, getting back to what we were saying.
Ballpark food, yeah.
I'm just saying, okay, hot dogs, soft pretzels, popcorn, Cracker Jack, cotton candy, beer, pop. That's soda for people who aren't from the Midwest. That's really all you need for a ballpark experience.
Man, you are a fucking ballpark snob with the food, huh? Like, that is it? Like, something a vendor can bring to you?
Well, okay,
dude, I'm middle class whitey. I'm part of the problem, all right? I'm into the chicken shawarma nachos. I'm into having a craft beer while doing it. Like, sorry, look, you label me as part of the problem.
Here's my beef. If they could bring it to me, fine. If I have to fucking stand in line and miss 2 innings to get a goddamn fucking Fisher-Price starter plate of nachos that I'm going to pay $30 for, I'm pissed off.
But here's my rub. I'm cheap. All right. You tell me $10 chicken shawarma nachos. I'll say get the fuck out of here. All right. I'll pay $7.50 for the regular nachos. All right.
No, I'm with Rich. I'm a purist. The best part of a game, any game, I don't care if it's football, baseball, whatever. You take your son, you sit him down, you get a couple of fucking stadium dogs, and you watch the game. Later on in life, you get him a dog, some nachos, and if he's 21, get him a beer.
Hey, you know what's probably worse than millennial athletes? Millennial fans. Just saying, man. I went to the ballpark a couple years ago. I was like, what? No Wi-Fi? What's going on here? Now they have Wi-Fi, which is nice. But
well, you know, one of the reasons they did that, the main reason they did that, is for people who play fantasy sports.
Word.
Like I until I read an article on it, I didn't put 2 and 2 together. especially in NFL stadiums. Because people were like, how can I keep up with my fantasy teams? And I'm like, you're at a football game.
How can I post my football selfie if you don't have Wi-Fi here?
I mean, look, I understand baseball is a different sport than...
But baseball, you can get some good pictures, too, with some of the ballparks, man. You can get some actual... Like, if you're into photos and shit, like, you get the right seat of Comerica, man. You're getting a nice picture of the ballpark, the field, the Detroit skyline. You know?
Right, but just like with the pictures, and the food's the same way. They built that place for money.
Hey, man.
Oh, hey, my old band played the Fifth Avenue. And, yeah, I the prices in there, we were playing, got paid. And I told everyone, if you're drinking, it's coming out of your pocket. Oh, we can't spend any of the band money. No, not these prices. Sorry, dude.
Hell no.
Made $150 for a 45-minute set. With this band, we'll walk out of here owing $200 if we all start drinking like we can drink.
Hey, man, I'll just say this. You know why they make chicken shawarma nachos? Because someone will buy that shit.
No, I understand.
You can charge more.
But look, baseball lends itself to there's a lot of breaks in the action. Okay, so I understand that. I understand, it's, a pitching change or between innings or whatever the fuck. Okay, but most sports aren't like that. I mean, hockey is, except if it wasn't for TV timeouts, hockey would be almost nonstop fucking action except for line changes.
Bring back the glow puck.
The
one guy. Hashtag bring back the glow puck.
The one thing the NFL, I think, has gotten right about going to a game is they have maximized the time between plays well. Meaning, okay, they break the huddle, they line up, they run the play, they go back to the huddle. Well, instead of watching the huddle, now you can watch a replay in slow motion, super up close, whatever the fuck, on the big Jumbotron. By the time that's done, boom, next play is ready to go. I mean, if you are paying attention, you're never sitting there going, okay, can we get something done here? Baseball, especially if you didn't grow up with baseball. I know a lot of people go to a baseball game and go, this is boring. I'm like, I don't know what to tell you, but you better pay attention if you're sitting down the third or first base line.
Yeah, I know, right?
End up with a bat in your face. But, I mean...
By the way, Jumbotron's going to be the new nickname for my penis.
Jumbotron needs to be the new nickname for Earl's gut.
Hey, you want to get the picture on the Jumbotron?
You know what, though? Earl's gut has gotten smaller, though. That's messed up.
Keep spending $90 at the gas station. We'll see about that.
Dude, that was 2 years ago. I'm like one level above unemployed.
Dude, I'm telling you.
That was 2 years ago. Are you still eating off of what you bought at the gas station?
You got to send it to me in Facebook Messenger or something. I'm not going to take your info or shit just because I can use it for the ICEman, man. I want to see the receipt of how you spend $90 at the gas station.
Dude, it was 2 years ago. You ain't got that receipt.
You said you just did that shit.
No.
Oh.
I don't know. How well's your old lady keep her, if it was on a card, how else does she keep her?
No.
Oh, okay.
She's the type window, she says, and no receipt, please.
Gotcha. My mom kept everything, so
but now there's just online record everything, even with what you bought it with, you can go get it. Like now, you want a receipt? No, it's an extra sheet. You just gave me a piece of garbage. No, I don't want a receipt.
Exactly.
Right. So, I mean, I could show you in my bank statement where it says...
Well, no, it's not itemized.
But
if that were me, I'm a stoner, I would keep something like that itemized. Now frame it. Like, hey, this one time we went to the gas station. We spent $90. No. Here's the receipt.
No. We woke up the next morning, and my wife doesn't really at all dabble in that area at all.
Mm-hmm.
And she was still high. And she's like, I'm going to be high forever. She thought it like mixed with her DNA because we ate it.
Jesus.
She's like, you have to call my boss. I can't go to work like this.
Wow.
Okay, just real quick aside. It sounds like my last acid trip where 33 hours after I'd taken it, I still wasn't coming down. And it was like, I'm stuck like this. Fuck.
That's it.
Damn it.
Like I was she went to take a shower. I'm sitting there with her phone, and she comes back and she's like, "Did you call my boss?" I'm like, On what? So what's in my hand?
I was given one brain and I broke it. Shit. That feeling.
Dude, in that 33 hours, I accepted that I was going to die.
We're all one, what is it? We're all energy slowly condensed.
It's down to a slow vibration.
Yeah.
What
other guys? Good.
I accepted I was going to die, and then when it appeared I wasn't going to die, I accepted that I had fucked myself up and would be perma-tripping for the rest of my life. And then I finally went to sleep. I woke up and I'm like, I'm normal again. My buddy was like, hey, I got some more of that acid. And I was like, you can stuff that right up your ass. I'm good. Thank you.
I know, right? Hey, I got more acid. No, I don't want any more acid.
Yeah, dude, I almost spent 48 hours awake.
Whoa!
Saying shit. And you want me to take acid again?
Dude, after 24, I'd be like, can we just go back to normal? Can we just go back to normal?
That's what I was, dude. Seriously.
Pounding orange juice.
My ex-wife went to bed, woke up, took a shower, came out and was like she slept for like 8 hours. So this is like a total of 9 hours after she last saw me, and she comes out in the living room and she's like, oh God, you're still tripping. And I'm like, you can tell? And she's like, yeah, because you're pie-eyed and your eyes are fucking wide open. Holy shit.
Why are you tripping, Craig?
And that's when I was like, note to listeners, 3.5 hits of double dip.
Dude.
Maybe we want to cut that down. It's not weight dependent.
Yeah, you did 7 hits of acid if you did 3.5 of double dip, man. Good God, man.
Exactly.
All right, well, we got to wrap this shit up, man. I did literally the next podcast is in here. Everybody's here. All right, we got to get going.
Did you guys talk about Peterson?
We did. What do you think, real quick?
Oh no, it's just that's funny to me actually. Jay Cutler and Kaepernick still looking for a job. Peterson, nah, I got that shit.
Right on. Yeah. Well, that's Rich and I are we just think it's going to be the place that's going to be the footnote where he went to die, where he went to end his career.
Absolutely.
It's going to be his Minnesota Vikings.
It's going to be like watching Jerry before you retire. A lot on the field.
Yeah.
Oh, so it's going to
big
be
round
like
from
watching,
the Weedsman, ladies and gentlemen.
It's going to be like watching Jordan play with the Wizards.
You guys didn't cover the NBA playoffs, did you?
Oh, actually,
yeah, we did. In the half hour you were gone.
I know the half hour took your Commodore 64 to boot back up.
Hey, it's a 128. Shut up.
I know. What do we say? We're on 386, dialing up at 2400.
Hey, I know running Windows 3.11 is really hard, but Christ, dude, you can't keep more than one window open; it'll crash.
Windows 3.11.
It's a Dell. It's my wife's computer, and it had an attitude. It's like, look, I'm going to update right now, depending whatever you're doing. Too late. Gotta go.
You know what? He probably is not even running Windows. He's probably at a DOS prompt right now.
Yeah, I know, right?
Load.
All right.
Parentheses. Shift 8.
Hey.
Comma 8, comma 1. Damn it.
I know, right? Thanks to everybody who has been listening and downloading. I say it every week, and it is not hyperbole. Every month. It's better than the next. It's really caught on now that we started. I've noticed, too, the three of us have started gelling. We're like 6 months into the ICEman showing up to the party. It's big ups or love or whatever. God damn it, I keep forgetting, but it's some New Orleans Saints Twitter that's got a shit ton of followers that keeps liking our tweets and stuff. So, hey, we just shit all over your running back being signed, but thanks for the...
Oh, in that case, I love him.
Yeah,
Great idea.
Thanks for Twitter love.
No, fuck him. You're in the same division as my Bucks. Fuck them.
Oh, that's true.
You don't get no love.
But at SportG Podcast on Twitter. You can email sportg@christophermedia.net. SportG_podcast on Instagram. Hopefully, yeah, as you said, after last week, we recorded and then, everything exploded. So hopefully nothing goes down. But, yeah, we'll catch you next week.
All right, later, guys.
I swear I'll be more here next time. Bye, guys.
I know, right?
You're not in the moment, Earl. Mean the kiss. Mean it.
If you like this show, please tell a friend. Please follow us on Twitter and like and share us on Facebook by searching for Christopher Media. You can subscribe to all ChristopherMedia.net shows for free on ChristopherMedia.net. Please make sure to rate and comment on all your favorite Christopher Media shows. Thank you in advance for supporting Christopher Media by clicking on the PayPal button and by clicking through to all the sponsors who support ChristopherMedia.net. Thank you for visiting ChristopherMedia.net, and thank you for listening. Thank you for visiting ChristopherMedia.net.
Imagine the greatest collection of real-life entertainment on the planet, all in one place. Go ahead. Dare to stream with Discovery Plus. 55,000 episodes from networks like TLC, HGTV, Food Network, and more. If you can dream it, you can stream it. See what I did there? Discovery Plus. Stream now. Stream what you love.